Hey, and welcome to a new spin-off series on the channel. It's technically, I want to say new show, but we've done tier rankers. We do them all the time here. This is tier ranker solo, so I'm here to do the solo dolo, and we are here to rank the best comedy podcast. So I don't know if anybody out there is like me, but I am a massive, massive fan of these comedy podcasts. I love to laugh. I think laughter truly is the best medicine. I think that there's no way for a person to be sad or unhappy or feel down or in any other type of mood. When you're laughing, you're going to be pretty happy when you're laughing. I mean, there's nervous laughter, there's things like that, but for the most part, you're happy when you're laughing, and I love it. And I'm so incredibly thankful that we're in this comedy boom where like comedy is just like higher than it's ever been. It's just so popular, and like I wish I could afford to get out and do or see more comedy shows. I know one of the biggest moments for me was meeting my boy Theo Vaughn. I'm a massive Theo Vaughn. That's like meeting truly like one of my heroes. Like that guy, like I just think he's just so relatable and so just like down to earth, but just so funny, and he's not afraid to push the boundaries. And he's right on my level, like I mean, I might even be a little more spiritual than he is, but I'm not fully there like a lot of my family is. And like he's kind of in the same window, like like he's talked about God, but he's talked about like other things and other possibilities, and just like, but he's not afraid to just be himself and do whatever he wants, and he rocks the mullet and all that stuff. I could gush on about Theo forever, but I'm not going to do that. We are here to rank some. I'm your host, by the way, Jordan, the movie hero Anderson, and what I will say is the goal of this is to do this as quick and as fast as we can. So that's what's Team Rankers solo is going to be. So if you're a regular on the channel, or if you're even tuning in and you'd like to host one of these yourself, just let me know and we'll talk. We'll work it out. And if you have any topics you'd like to tackle, anything you'd like to rank, you can rank anything. That's the beauty of this particular show, is that you can rank anything, and you can get off the beaten path. We normally talk about movies. You want to rank like your favorite music artist. You want to rank like cereals. You want to rank your favorite candy bars. You want to rank like celebrity crushes. You want to rank like whatever you want to rank. You can just jump on here. You can do it on your own. It'd be solo, so you'd be ranking on your own. And the goal is to go as fast as you can. You do this in rapid fire succession, and then we're gonna have a thing called tier ranker remix. And what remix is going to be is it's going to be where if you look at somebody's list and you're like, I don't really necessarily agree with that, like I don't want this one so high, I don't know why you have Joe Rogan up here and why you have like Bad Friends so low, or like whatever it is, then you can have the opportunity to jump on and you can move things around just a little bit. So the caveat is you can only move things either up one spot or down one spot, and that's it. Or you can leave it where it's at. But that's pretty much where it is. And if you want to give the top 10 a little re-rank just among the top 10, whatever it ends up being there, you can re-rank that however you want within the top 10. That can go like as many spots as you want, as long as you stay within that top 10, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I will say I'm not an expert in this, so don't take my word as gospel, but take it as that could be a pretty good recommendation. There's something like he really likes this, or he doesn't like that, so maybe I should avoid that. Maybe I should check that out. But in the end, decide for yourself. I don't have all the information. I got an extra tab open, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be honest with you, to look up things, because I have officially 102 podcast I'm going to rank tonight, so we got to get through this quick. So but why 102? Well, I had it at even 100, and then I found two more podcasts that I had to have on. I'm like, I got to have these on. And apologies in advance, I did my best to get every single podcast that I could come up with. I know there's probably thousands of podcasts out there, even comedy ones, so I'm just focusing on ones that are comedy podcasts specifically. There's a lot of true crime. There's a lot of just news related one, politics. There's a lot of different types of podcasts out there, but I just wanted to solely focus on comedy because I listen to these all day, every day. And there's a couple on here that I have not seen, so I will have to put a couple in that I haven't seen, unfortunately, because there's only so much time in the day to listen to all these, and so there are a few. So if you have any information on maybe ones that I rank a little lower as to why they're actually good, and you want to try to give me some friendly advice on that, you can do that. Or if you uh, want to give me some information on the ones I haven't seen, maybe I should check them out. Maybe they're good, or maybe I might be overrating some and like putting some of these on a pedestal. We'll see what's going to happen. But let me go ahead, and I forgot I should have had this already prepped and pulled. I have it on my screen here. You guys can't see it, but let me find it here. Just want the tab. Yep. So for anyone who might be new or might be tuning in for the first time, welcome. And if you're not familiar with how a tier chart works, basically, and I gotta fix this. There you go. S goes up there. So S for superior, A, B, C, D, F, like grades in school, and there is a haven't seen tier. So, and I'm going to try to fly through these quick. I'll try to give you as much knowledge as I have on all these. Some of these I don't have all the knowledge. Some of these I might even have to look up the name. Well, probably a good like quarter of these. I'm gonna have to look up the names of who's actually on there, and it might refresh my memory. Be like, oh yeah, like I forgot about that one. That guy's on there, or like this girl, she's really funny. All that stuff. It's great. I can't believe that I forgot about that. A person. It's a lot of names, a lot of people, a lot of things to keep track of. So, but yeah, and I'm just gonna go through. So how it's gonna kind of work tonight is just because this is the first episode and I'm kind of working out some kinks a little bit, I'm going to start with just putting the first one up in the S tier. It's just going to go there for now. And then as we branch out, I'm going to put it to the right side. Do I like it more or do I like it less than this one? So do I like it more or less than like Two Bears, One Cave, or like whatever the podcast is, or Smartless, or, and then I'll put it either above or below, and we'll see where it actually lands. But the caveat is we can only have, so what I decided that I'm going to do, we can only have 10 in the S tier. I'm going to start with saying 20 in each other tier. Now, I don't know if I have the math correct on that. We may have to allow for a few more in some of the other tiers, but only 10 in the S tier. And then at the end of the show, I'm going to, I'll pretty much have them ranked already, but if I feel like I need to make a quick little adjustment, then I will. And I'm not just going to pull anything particular. Like I'm going to go in order so you can see all the different podcasts we have here. There's a lot. So there's keeps going and going and going. I'm just going to start at the top and I'm going to work all the way down. So that's pretty much how it's going to work. And we'll see how much I can remember and how much I have to look up. I'll probably be looking up more than I think. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and kick this off. And when we get to my favorite podcast, I'm sure a lot of you guys know what my favorite podcast is. I already talked to my favorite comedian. Is his podcast my favorite? Maybe not. We'll see when we get there. But yeah, and I'll kind of tell you quickly why I love it or don't. I'm gonna try to go fast. So just bear with me. This is the first episode. It's a test to see if this goes fast, if it goes slow. I like it to be fast. That's what I'm shooting for, to have quick content here on the channel. So yeah, but let's go ahead. We're gonna start with the number one dad. So that is Gary Veter's new podcast. And I'll tell you, I'm gonna rank it just because I haven't seen it, but I've seen Gary on a whole bunch of podcasts hyping it up, talking all about this podcast. It's really high on my anticipation level. Essentially, Gary, like he had told the story on a couple of podcasts. I think I saw him like We Might Be Drunk or something like that. And he was talking about what the podcast is going to be all about. So he's estranged from his dad at this point in time in his life, and it's his search to try to find him. But also, when he was a kid, he got free passes from his dad. His dad would make up all these crazy stories and all these crazy lies and crazy things, like he was a sick kid or he worked for sports Sports Illustrated for Kids or like all these different things. And I guess they weren't really checking him at the door or anything. So as a kid, he got to go into like Madison Square Garden. He got to hang out with like Patrick Ewing and like John Starks and like Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal and like all these famous athletes. You got to go to like Yankee games and get backstage and go down in the dugout with the players. And he has all these pictures of like all the famous people that he met. And I know that he definitely did that with sports stars. Now I don't know because I haven't watched it yet, but he might have done it with some celebrities too. I'm not sure, but he was lying the whole entire time. His dad was, and Gary Vee, he was just a kid, so he had no idea what was going on. Like he's just like what? Okay, Michael Jordan. This is incredible. Like even as a kid, meeting Michael Jordan is going to be absolutely incredible. Like a life, like one of those moments you'll never forget in life. But then later on, he kind of felt like he was really duped, and his dad really pulled the wool over his eyes, and he I don't know if his dad went to jail for it. I feel like maybe he did. I don't know, but he became estranged from his dad. They had a big time falling out over all this stuff and the lies and all the deceitfulness and stuff. And so now he's on a quest to try to track his dad down, find where he is, and reconnect with him about all this stuff. And it sounds like a wild idea, but like really cool and crazy. So I'm really looking forward to that one. So that's that. It's just going there. So now we have the infamous Two Bears, One Cave. Like there is a YouTube channel, and I'm already going to tell you, I'm putting you down in the A for now, and you're probably going to get bumped lower than that. Like I'm not even going to put it on either side of this because I can't stand Bert Kreischer. Can't stand the guy. Oh, he's like drives me nuts. If there's any comedian out there I cannot stand, it's Bert Kreischer. Like he's just this guy. Like I heard him on Joe Rogan once say, like, I don't want to be known as this guy that just takes my shirt off and just drinks a ton of alcohol because there's a lot more to me than that. But it's like, but that's what you are, and that's like I'm not going to say all you are, but as a stand-up comedian, yeah, it's kind of all you are as a stand-up. As a human being, sure, but we're just talking about you as a stand-up, and that's all you are, and that's all you do, and like he's very narcissistic. He talks about himself constantly. And he talks about these crazy stories with the machine and being with the Russians and the whole movie that came out. I never saw the movie because it got bad reviews. I'll see it eventually, but because I do like Mark Hamill, but yeah, and like Tom Segura, I like him more than Bert, but I don't even like him all that much. I think he's kind of cringy too. His podcast that he does with his wife Christina, like all they do is like gross out humor, and they can't show the audience, so none of the audience gets to see, which could be for the better, probably, because like he shows some of the most nasty things, like people getting their anal like intestines ripped out and their dick split open and their like just horrible crazy things and their insides gutted out and this like weird crazy and the weird piercing, and it's gross, and I don't like that stuff, and I don't care about that. They do it for shock value, and it just doesn't seem like Tom Segura has a lot to add. And so I just realized since Brian Nussbaum's in the chat, I'm sure Tom Papa has a podcast. I know he's your favorite comedian, so you can tell me about that. I don't have him on the list though, so if he has a podcast, it's not really one that I watch, but I've seen him on podcasts, and he's a lot of fun. I watched him on Dan Soder's podcast because at the end of that podcast, they open up vintage basketball cards, and that's right up my alley. Like I grew up collecting basketball cards. One of these days, I'll have to show off my basketball card collection, my LeBron James rookie card, and I have a Charles Barkley. I've got some Kevin Durant and Steph Curry's and some Kobe Bryant rookie card. I don't have a Michael Jordan because that card is really hard to get. But anyways, yeah. So, but he says, does Bert take his shirt off in the podcast? Sometimes, usually not for the podcast, but he says Tom does have his own podcast called Breaking Bread. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember him coming on to some podcast talking about the bread that he makes, and like sourdough bread that he makes. I know those sourdough starters are kind of hard to find sometimes, but you got to be gifted one from a friend. My grandparents had one that I wanted to get some from, and you share a little bit, it just grows, and I don't know how it really works, but I'm sure Tom Papa could tell you that. But so yeah, I don't. So needless to say, I don't really love Two Bears One Cave. Sorry, I just don't. Let's go about last night. Adam Ray. So and maybe we need to try to move a little faster here, but Adam Ray's so funny. He was on Young Rock. He was on. I'm trying to think of what else he's actually done. This is where I break out the. Oh, and like where I'm gonna place it. I'll leave it there for now. That's not the final resting spot for about last night. I'm gonna move it, but Adam Ray filmography. So he I guess he was in that movie The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. He said he's in the 20s. Oh, that's the female-led Ghostbusters. Okay. And yeah, I just think that like that's mostly where I've seen it. I know he's been in another TV stuff. Let me see his TV stuff that he's done, because I know. Let's see. Oh, he was on the reboot of Mad TV. That's right, when Mad TV came back, and I was really like had my fingers crossed I was gonna go somewhere. That's kind of where he got his big break. So that's cool. And then he does the Dr. Phil stuff. He has like. I'm gonna lump it together because he has the Dr. Phil live that he does, which is essentially almost the same thing as About Last Night. But he's doing it in character as Dr. Phil. He gets this person to do like all this prosthetics. He does like a spot on in impression of Dr. Phil, and then he goes to like the Comedy Store and different clubs and arenas or theaters, something like that. And he has guests on, and like he like gives them weird advice that are just hilarious. And then you should see him on the Take Your Shoes Off podcast with Rick Glassman. He's hilarious on that. Like Adam Ray knows how to do impressions, and he's good at it. So from right now, that's my number one. Adam Ray is hilarious, and I know that Richie Goodacre from our community, who lives in Australia, he's actually like done a show with him, which is freaking wild. That's awesome. Like I love Adam Ray. He just seems like a cool, just kind of stand up, really nice guy. So let's see. Okay, Annie Letterman. I don't have a lot to say about her. I've only caught a couple episodes. She's hot. I'll say that. Annie Letterman is a cutie, but and like I actually do like her. Like I would love to see her do stand up. I think she's hilarious and she's funny. She's just not one of my like top people, but she's up there, you know. And probably I would put her just below the number one dad, but she's funny. She's really good. She used to be on with I can't remember the name of the podcast. I'll get to it, but with Esther Pavitsky and Kalila Kuhn, who dated Bobby Lee. They had a podcast together, and she left to kind of do some of her own stuff, but yeah. Anyways, I'll leave it there. We'll go to Are You Garbage? Kevin Ryan and H. Foley, they're just like New York boys through and through. They have like strong New York accents, almost like so I kind of equate them to the like the Bears of New York. You know, they got the Bear kind of like the Bill Schwartzky super fan stuff, and they're kind of like that. They H. Foley is a bigger guy. He loves to eat. He talks about it, and they just have all these celebrities and stand-up comedians on there. And they ask them all these questions about their life to see if they're garbage or if they're like a normal like human being. Are you high class or are you garbage? And they're funny. The only thing about them is it does get a little chaotic. They like to like really play off each other, and they like to talk a lot, and it feels like for just the two of them that there's like six people in the room sometimes, and I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. But they are hilarious. Like they are laugh out loud hilarious, so good. I don't really have anything like else that I could criticize them on. They're just like really good. So, oh man, this is tough because I think right now the Are You Garbage podcast is hitting more than About Last Night, but because of the Dr. Phil stuff, I got to keep my boy Adam Ray at the number one slot. So they're going number two is where they're going. So up next, you got the Armchair Expert. I haven't listened to it as much recently, but like back in the day, I listened to Dax Shepard all the time. And he's got some big name people on there. I mean, if you don't know Dax Shepard, he's an actor. He's in one of my kind of guilty pleasure movies, Employee of the Month, and I think that's hilarious. He's been like hosted game shows. He's I can't remember the game show that he hosted, but he hosted one on like Fox or something. But he I'm trying to think of what other stuff that he's been in. He was in Chips. I know that. I mean, I won't look up his filmography. I was about to, but like he's really cool, and he's married to oh, what's her name? I know she was in Heroes, that show, and she was in. Let me see. This I will look up. Who is Dax Shepard married to? And I'm sure a lot of you guys are watching this, like screaming in the chat. Hello, it's this person. It's this person. I know. But Kristen Bell. Okay, she's married to Kristen Bell, and Kristen Bell's pretty cool. So armchair expert. This is tough because he has the best guests out of anyone that's up here. He has like big time name people. So I gotta put him probably in between Are You Garbage and About Last Night. That's where I'm going with that. Okay. Next up, we have Bad Friends. And I will tell you, ding, 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 this is my favorite podcast. I love Bad Friends. I never miss an episode. That's why I got my shirt on. I mean, that was the clue right there that I had my Bad Friends shirt on. So, and I was actually going to see, before I get a little further, I know you can adjust. Let me see. I might pop off the screen for a second, but it's fine. Let me see. There's a way that you can adjust this. Oh, I can do that. That's kind of cool. Here, get a better look at my Bad Friends shirt. There you go. I haven't really like messed around with a lot of the settings just because, I mean, once I'm set, I'm kind of like all set. Oh, there you go. I don't know if that looks better than that. There's not really any difference, or that maybe, I don't know. And I know there's a way you can freeform it. You can just like put it wherever I want. Oh, there you go. I can do that, but I'm not going to. I'll keep it like that, and if it's covering too much, then I'll switch back. But anyways, making a little adjustment live. But Bad Friends is Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. I think they have such great chemistry. They play off each other so well. They're laugh out loud, hilarious. Like Bobby Lee is like, he's like almost the Michael Jordan of podcasting, I would say, as far as like podcasts go. And he says he doesn't do anything out of the ordinary. When he's like, this is just me, and this is the way I talk, and people think I'm doing something special. No, Bobby, you're doing something special, and you're freaking great. And oh man, like so good on a podcast, so good. And Andrew's hilarious too. Like I freaking like love Andrew too. I think they're both great. They play off their producers and all those people. This is like a weekly watch for me. I'm subscribed to their Patreon. There's only a couple podcasts on here that I subscribe to their Patreon so I can get their content early. And Bad Friends is one of them. They just had Jack Black on. They don't have guests every week, but they do like sometimes. And one of the cool things that they do is they help out young and up and coming comedians like Juicy J, or they had Doc, the little short black guy. They had I can't remember the big guy that loves to eat chips. that guy on there. And then they have Rudy Jules. Rudy Jules is freaking great, from the Philippines. Like, she's probably my favorite out of all of them. But I do love all the side guests, side people that they kind of help out, So you better believe. I don't know if it'll stay number one, but it probably will. I don't know. We'll see. But it's going there. So that's where it's gonna be. All right. Being Ian with Jordan. That's Ian Fidance and Jordan Jensen. And yeah, Ian's awesome. I freaking love Ian because I do think he smokes way too many cigarettes. He's gonna get cancer, but so I kind of worry about that because I can't stand people that smoke a lot of cigarettes. It's gross. I can't. It makes me a little sick. Yeah, but Malcolm says he thinks that the layout looks good for a solo ticker. Cool. I'm glad you like it. I was just like messing with it for a second, but yeah, anyone tuning in, Malcolm, or anyone you watch it, many comedy podcasts. If you don't, then here's your recommendations. But yeah, so Ian Finance, he's openly bisexual, so he's been with men, he's been with women, and I will say, like, I don't really have ever intentions of being vulgar or swearing on any of these shows that I do. But if it happens, it happens. I just play it natural. Like, I mean, I don't like try to do it, but I don't try not to do it, if that makes sense. So I was like, there may be some things repeated from some of these podcasts because I'll tell you, most of these, in order for comedy to be funny, you got to push the boundaries. You just do. You got to do the unexpected. You got to surprise people. You gotta uh be a little vulgar at times, and you gotta like talk about some things that could be considered offensive to some people sometimes. So it's just what it is. And yeah, Ian Finance, he's like a little short guy with I think curly hair, I want to say, but he has a big mustache, a big porno stash, but he's so like delightfully funny and just nice, and like a super kind, like nice guy that's just really cool. They do their just like judging on the way that the thumbnail or the little picture graphic looks like, is they do it in like what looks like their parents' basement, that from like the 70s or 80s. Got the wood paneling, got all these like retro toys and everything. It's a really cool set, one of the cooler sets that I've seen before. They just have like an old couch, and people just sit on this old kind of small little kind of nasty looking couch, but it works. It's got a vibe to it. And then Jordan Jensen is just I don't know much about her. I just know that they have great chemistry, and they really like play into each other's like personalities super well. So yeah, I'm going to probably put being Ian. I personally like them more than Are You Garbage. I think Are You Garbage as a podcast overall is hitting more, like in the general public, but like sometimes those guys are a lot for me on Are You Garbage. So I'll go being Ian with Jordan. We'll put it right there. So all right, let's see. Burtcast. Ugh. Like I don't know which one I despise more. The Burtcast or Two Bears One Cave. I don't even know if Bert still does Bertcast. I know it was his first podcast that he did, and I don't watch Bert because I don't like Bert Kreischer. I think he's annoying and like not funny, and like all the things I said before, narcissistic and all that. So, I guess Tom brings him up like a half a step, but because I like Tom better than Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, but not much more. So that'll be the lowest one so far. I'll just leave it there, and we'll see what happens. We have a big podcast with Shaq we got on here. So I'm a huge basketball fan. I think that Shaq is like Shaq and Charles Barkley. Like Charles Barkley should have a podcast also. I'm sure he does, and I just don't like watch it. But like Shaq, like just like brings it home for me. Like he's this huge, like 7 foot tall guy, and he has all my favorite basketball players and stars and on there all the time. He has celebrities on there, and he's funny and the way he talks. And there's even one where like there's a mystery that like people want to know what Shaq's dick size is because he's 7 feet tall and he's got size 25 or 26 feet, something like that. So that's huge. So on one podcast, he alluded to it. He just took his shoe off and he's like, "You want to know how big?" And he put it right by his crotch. There you go. That's probably how big it is. And I'm just like, whoa, that's crazy. But but anyways, yeah, the show's really funny. I can't remember the guy that he has with him. He has a guy that kind of moderates it because I don't know if Shaq's the best speaker. He's not the best like speaker, but he's a funny guy, and he endorses damn near like uh I looked it up, like 50 different products or something that he has his face on or his name on, from Papa John's to Gold Bond to like the General to like Epson printers, and like just tons and tons and tons of stuff, and it's pretty cool. And he's got to be like maybe the richest basketball player that's ever played the game. Besides Michael Jordan, like I'll probably give the number one to Michael Jordan, even as being the richest. But yeah, so the guy that does the moderating, he's not a comedian, but he does good. He could be a guy that like could announce NBA games, like be a commentary during the game, like doing the play by play. But for Shaq, I really like Shaq's podcast, but he's not a stand-up comedian, although he is funny. I'm probably going to put him. I don't know if I should put him above Annie Wood. I will, just because I think that the basketball stuff brings it home for me personally. So that's where I'm gonna go. Yeah, let's see. Okay, we got Blocked with Neil Brennan. Neil Brennan is one of the funniest guys that just kind of sits there, and he doesn't ever laugh at his own jokes, really. And he rarely laughs at like anyone else's jokes, but he's still funny. All the things he says is hilarious. He's a guy that works closely with Dave Chappelle. He actually kind of created Chappelle's show, if I'm being honest. Like, he was like the head writer for the Chappelle show, and he had a stand-up. So he talked about his podcast, like in the intro, that he had a stand-up special called Block, and talked about all of his personal blocks and the things that hold him back in life. I wouldn't mind even like having a little spin-off podcast doing what he does, because I always have this need to get deep with people and to like talk about your feelings and emotions and dig down in the things that are deep down inside of you. But I mean, there's therapy for that. You can go do that. But he's hilarious, and he uses this cringy kind of funny. It's like really like weird sounding music, and just the look on his face. He looks like he's just like awkward. It's like it. I don't know if there's any music out there that is awkward, if that's even a way to describe music. But the theme he has for this show is awkward, and he's awkward, but in the best way ever. Though, like, it's just so funny, so good. I love him to pieces. Man, this one might be kind of high for me. Like, I think I got to put him just under Bad Friends. I think he's that good. I think he's so good. And he's written more. Like, let me just see. Like, what has Neil Brennan written, I guess, and produced? I don't know the best way to do it, but he did a Chappelle show. Let me bring up IMDb right quick for him. He wrote for Saturday Night Live. I forgot about that. I mean, those are like the main two, and way more for Chappelle's show than Saturday Night Live. But yeah, those are like, I guess, his main things. But still, like, he's hilarious. So check him out. All right, Call Her Daddy podcast. This is one I've only listened to one episode, because I'm like, what is Call Her Daddy? The girl's hot. Is this like a sex podcast, or like what is it? I don't even really know. It could be borderline like sexual, but it's on Spotify. Like, it's one of those ones that got a huge deal because it became really popular, and for obvious reasons, because she's hot. I don't even know the name of the main girl who does it. I want to look it up. Daddy host. So Alexandra Cooper. So, and she's pretty young. She's like 22. So, oh wait, no, she's not 22. She's 32. I'm sorry, it's off by 10 years. But she, and yeah, she kind of has this like call me daddy, guys. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, like. What's your kink? Like, tell me all about what you like in the bedroom. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I imagine that's kind of Californian, but I don't know. So yeah, but I've only ever seen one episode, but I know she got a huge deal for a crap ton of money on Spotify, kind of like even before Joe Rogan got his deal. So, so for that, I haven't seen a lot of her, but because she's so popular, I'm gonna throw her in about right. I'll put him at the bottom of S for now. But yeah, so let's see what else we got. We got my boy Chrissy D with Chrissy Chaos. Oh man, do I love Chrissy D. He's one of the ones where I am subscribed to his Patreon because I freaking love Chrissy D, and he puts out a ton of stuff on Patreon, and it's great. And like, he's someone who gets very personally talks a lot about his family, about his wife, about them being Puerto Rican, and he loves Puerto Rican girls, so he married a Puerto Rican. Well, he didn't marry him; they're not married. Like, he actually talks about that. They're not married; they're boyfriend and girlfriend. But they pretty much like they're married, because he says marriage is just a piece of paper, and maybe it is. I don't know, but I think it can be more than that, but like a relationship is what really matters. And is what he says. And he does hilarious stories about his daughter, about his transgender uncle, TT Jerry, which he doesn't talk about so much. I don't know what happened to TT Jerry. He, whoever used to come on the show a lot after they got out of prison, and then maybe they went back to prison. Maybe they, I don't know what happened to her, but and like TT Jerry said, use all the pronouns. So I'm using he, I'm using her, I'm using they. And it must have caused some problems for them because there was a thing for a while where like they would try to help her out and get her a car and help her out with a job and that stuff. You haven't heard about her in almost a year, so she must be pretty much gone. But Christy Chaos, he now has a co-host that's Mike Cannon, which I almost put Mike Cannon's podcast. He has a solo podcast, but I feel like that may someday go away because he does Christy Chaos so much. And Mike Cannon's awesome. Mike Cannon is hilarious. I do like Chrissy a little more, and I'm gonna call him Chrissy, but it's Chris Stefano. And yeah, like I don't even know how I even found him. I just stumbled across him one day while I was flipping through YouTube looking for some new podcast to listen to, and he was one of the funniest people I have ever heard in my life. Like he's a New Yorker, and he likes to talk about Staten Island. He used to live there for a long time. Now he wanted to move into the city, and like he used to have this podcast called History Hyenas. That's where I found him actually with Giannis Pappas, who I'll talk about in a little bit. But they used to talk about history, and I love history. I'm a history buff, and he brings comedy and humor into it. And he always says like it is what it is. Or like, could you imagine this blah 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 in these crazy situations? Or like just the some of the phrases and the way that he talks to you, like you can tell he's like born with comedic timing. He's born with just like the phrases and the things to say, and he just comes up with the most hilarious bits and things that he says, and it's just it's so good, and it just catches you off guard, but it's so fun. And there are things that like I want to say in my daily life, not to steal any of his bits, but just in casual conversation, like I've like said a lot of what he says, and he's so good. He talks about having anxiety a lot, and there's some pretty like crazy moments. I follow like so he's a weekly one that I watch every week. I don't ever miss one, and I watch all the Patreon stuff. And he like he's had like some crazy like moments, like there's an infamous moment where they had like a sex kind of therapist on, and then she talked about like, well, maybe this person just died, or like they're no longer alive or something like that, and the therapist flipped out and said, oh my gosh, I just had a friend pass away, like in the same sort of way, like this really hits close to home. I'm sorry. And she takes off the episode, and they're just sitting there like, okay, we just screwed up. Like, what did we say? What did I do? We need to go out and apologize, get her back on. She's out in the hall, just freaking out, crying and stuff. It's kind of a crazy. And he's friends with who's the main guy of A Bronx Tale? He almost did a sitcom with them. A Bronx Cast. I think it's the main guy. Yeah, Chaz Palminteri. Like he's like best friends with Chaz Palminteri. Who knew? So, so he's had him on before, and yeah, it's cool. So, Christy Cass goes right below Bad Friends, but I feel like I know Chris on a more of a personal level because Bobby gets a little personal on Bad Friends, but Andrew doesn't. He just like is funny, but he doesn't really ever get personal. So I know he's married. He's got a wife, but that's all I know. But so yeah, okay. Club Random. I was just watching this earlier today because with Bill Maher, because Bill Maher had Army Hammer on there, who's canceled, and Bill Maher, pound for pound, gets some of like the best guests. I watched the Hawk Tua Girls episode. And then he just had Bobby Lee on. He's had a lot of people that have like faced cancellation, as the infamous the Richard Dreyfuss episode, where like literally the whole episode he's sitting like this for the whole episode, and like slowly sliding out of his chair almost onto the ground, and he doesn't acknowledge it the whole time, and it's so funny. And Bill Maher gets high on every episode. You know what? Just for this this ranking, I'm gonna sit like this just for fun. So hi guys, but yeah, and like I used to not really vibe with Bill Maher and his politics. I thought he was a total dick, kind of a-hole guy. And you know what? The more and more that I've like listened to him, I am kind of in the middle politically. I lean a little more towards the Republican, but there's a lot of things that I do agree with when it comes to the Democrats and Social Security and like helping poor people with like food stamps and housing and so like all that stuff, and then unemployment or like I believe that like healthcare should be free. I believe uh, that schools should be almost free, maybe pay a little, but almost free, and yeah, so I like totally like am with him on something. He's one of those disaffected, kind of like Elon Musk, where he used to be uh a like more like liberal kind of Democrat guy, and then like as he stayed, so like you have the right wing and you have the left wing, and then he stayed here, and the left went out here, and so did the right. A lot of right wing people went crazy too, but and he didn't want like he's like no, I'm gonna believe how I believe. I'm staying right where I'm at, and the more and more I listen to him, I vibe with him, and his podcast real time or not podcast, his TV show. It's HBO. He has real time. He used to do politically incorrect until he had some kind of controversy surrounding 9/11. But he he just talked about politics, and that's fine. On this one, he smokes weed. He drinks. I don't know if he drinks alcohol on the show. I think he drinks a little, but he gets really freaking high, and he's hilarious, and he has some of the best guests on. So yeah, he's gonna be pretty high. Let me sit up so I can freaking rank this one. But like, he's pretty hilarious, and I've been listening to him a lot more. So I think I gotta put him right up here with in between Chrissy Chaos and Blocks. That's where it's gonna land for me. Like he's a solid one. So yeah, so much for this being short. This is a test episode, guys. I mean, like I want it to be short, but hey, you know, some of these will vary in length. Some will be short, some will be long, but so I'll try to pick it up. So um Comedy Bang Bang. That's Scott Ackerman, and I can't remember. I at least want to take the time. I think it's just Scott Ackerman actually, but I do want to take the time to at least look up who some of these people are if I'm not as familiar with the names or have a brain fart on the name. But the Comedy Bang Bang, I am going to put because I'm not really as familiar. I used to watch the Comedy Bang Bang like when they had it on like an actual TV show and it was on like IFC and they had Weird Al like Yankovic for the house band leader, freaking which is awesome. One of my like music idols, um and then they had the guy I can't remember what his name is, but he was the band leader for oh I can't remember that like British talk show host on CBS. British show host on CBS. It was James Corden. So who was James Corden's band leader? It was Reggie Watts. Yeah. So and he's the one that actually did the theme song for Key and Peele too. So that's him like doing all the scuba da da scuba da whatever. Like all I want, I won't make you listen to me sing very much, but yeah. So and like he was really good in the like live the show as just the podcast version where there wasn't a video. I didn't like as much, but I still like it. So I think I'm gonna put it. It's gonna land in between Number One Dad and the the big podcast with Shaq. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I have way more than 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 3 of these are moving down. So because we're only allowing 10 and then 20 in each one underneath. So that's going there. That's going there. Sorry, Shaq. Okay, there's the 10. So Comedy Bang Bang squeaks into the top 10 for now. Conan O'Brien needs a friend. Now, I'll say the podcast, it's fine. But Conan is like one of my comedy heroes. Like I freaking adore Conan, and I like what he was doing with his late night show way more than his podcast. The podcast just seems more subdued, and they don't have as much money, and they're not doing as many bits and cool stuff. But they have Sona Mobsessian, I think that's how you say it, but that's who has been his assistant for his whole career, and she's on there with another guy, one of the head writers, Conan O'Brien needs a friend, hosts with producer Matt Gorley. That's who it is, and like they're all pretty good together. That you can tell that they're best friends, and they like really get along well. But just for Conan alone, I can't put him near the top. I mean, as far as comedians go, you'd be right up there at the top. But as far as the podcast goes, it's not as interesting as some of these other podcasts. It's just not. It's not like his. It's like his talk show, but not as interesting. I don't know. It's still good, but I think I gotta put him. I still want to have him in the top 10, so I'll move Comedy Bang Bang down. I'll put Conan there. That's just for now. We got congratulations with Chris D'Elia. I don't really care about Chris D'Elia. He might be funny to some people. I think he's mildly funny. He's all right. You know, he got canceled for a while for sexual escapades, but he was able to come back and like you can't like cancel. You can't cancel somebody forever unless they killed a guy or raped someone, I feel like, or they're Bill Cosby, like drugging these chicks, It's like some people, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have our issues. Louis C.K. came back, and so did Chris D'Elia. And I think people, even an Army Hammer or some of these James Franco, like how long are you gonna hold people hostage and like keep them canceled like that? Like Kevin Spacey's making a comeback. I think a lot of people can do it. So I'm gonna go with. I am glad that he came back, but it's just not that all that funny to me. I gotta put him right here in between Call Her Daddy and Two Bears One Cave. That's where it lands. Okay, don't ask Tig. That is Tig Notaro. I love Tig. She's awesome. She is a lesbian, but like doesn't flaunt it around, She's just like so funny. She's married to a woman that she is married, and but like that shouldn't be what identifies her. What should identify her is that she's freaking hilarious. She's had cancer a bunch of times, so she had breast cancer and had to like cut off her breast, which is horrible. And has been through a lot of medical things, but her stand-up specials are hilarious. Don't Ask Tig is just her. I haven't listened to it as much as I should have. I need to because she had a video a version. I don't know if it was the same podcast exactly. But she'd have these celebrities on because she doesn't know a lot about celebrities on purpose. She tries not to research that or know much about it. And she'd have these famous people on. Like I think she had oh Judd Apatow. She had Judd Apatow on. He comes on, and she has no idea who he is, and so she has to ask questions and try to figure out who they are. And now it's like people asking her questions of things she has no idea about, and she just gives hilarious advice. It's really funny, and she has dry humor. She has like the driest humor I've ever seen in my life, and normally I don't connect with dry humor, but Tig is like, oh, so funny. Like the funniest dry humor, hands down, of all time, like for me. So she's like, but I just haven't seen a ton of the show. But she still makes me laugh so hard that I got to put her pretty dang high. Like I would put her probably in between Club Random and Blocks. That's just where I would put her personally. So that means Conan, you're coming down. Sorry. Okay, let's. Doug Loves Movies. So Doug Loves Movies is a fun one to sing the theme song. Doug loves candy apples. He's been going forever because Doug loves movies. And Doug Benson is like one of the guys that's high his entire life, 24/7. He's high all the time. And he talks about movies, and I love movies, and it's fun to like play the games with him. He plays games. He goes to different clubs. He takes his show on the road. He hasn't been doing Doug Loves Movies as much recently. He's been used to do them in theaters and arenas and stuff. Now he's back in like these dinky little clubs doing them, and I don't know if he even really does it all that much. I haven't been seeing him that often on um the different streaming services. I do see him, and I know he still does it. I know he does, but he doesn't have the same big guests he once had. And it's just maybe he wanted to do that. Maybe he wanted to scale it down and just have it more intimate and just have his friends on. I don't know, but I love Doug Loves Movies. It's such a fun podcast. You make name tags with really funny things on there. Like I went and saw Doug Loves Movies live when he came to Boise. I took the girl that I was married to at the time. Well, we weren't married yet, but we were dating. But and I forgot to make a name tag, and I was pissed at myself. And we sat nearly in the front row, and they had Sam, the freaking from the Schmodown, and Freaks and Geeks. Let's see, sorry guys, I gotta look up the Freaks and Geeks cast. Sam, why is he not in the top cast? Weird. He's not even listed. Oh, there he goes. Sam Levine. Duh. Sam Levine was there, and Big J Okerson came. That was so cool. So yeah, it's one of my favorite podcasts because it's so interactive and so fun. He just plays these games and jokes around, and he's high out of his mind. I love when people are high. They're hilarious. So, just like Bill Maher, he's high all the time. But I gotta put him pretty high up there. He's a classic. He's a staple. I just haven't been watching him as much lately, but he's one that he doesn't really have a video version either. It's all audio. That like that fact right there probably takes it down a notch for me, where there's not a video version. But I'm still gonna put it pretty high. I'm gonna put it between Chrissy Cast and Club Random. I love me some Doug Loves Movies. So number one, Dad. That's moving down. Let's see. We got Dudesy podcast. Okay, so that's Will Sasso, and I want to get it right. Dudesy podcast host. And I don't know what the gimmick is for sure, but Will Sasso and Chad Coltigan. Will Sasso is from Mad TV. It's hilarious. I love his Steven Seagal impersonation. Or yeah, he had a lot of impersonations, excuse me, on the show. And he does like a Hulk Hogan that's really good. I think he might even do a Trump, but and like an Arnold Schwarzenegger one. But the premise of the show is they have AI, and they like to say it's the first podcast run entirely by AI. I think that's kind of like a gimmicky thing for the show, or not a gimmicky thing, but a thing that they wrote. It's not AI controlling the show. They just say it as part of the bit. It's a bit. That's more what it is. And they have this AI voice talking the whole time to telling them to do this stuff. And I think some of the AI suggestions and things are real. They're the ones that put out another. What's his name? The greatest comedian of all time. I don't see. I have these brain farts, but it's oh come on. I have it here. George Carlin, duh. So they put out if George Carlin was still alive today, like him doing another stand-up special through AI, and it was actually pretty funny. It was a little off from what George Carlin would actually say and do, but it's still pretty good. And then they did one as Tom Brady doing stand-up, and that was hilarious too. So really good stuff. So, but the podcast itself is kind of boring. I don't know. I don't like when I watch. I kind of get a little bored sometimes. They're funny. They're funny guys, and they have some good ideas and stuff. But I still gotta rank it kind of low to me. I gotta put it down here in between Call Her Daddy and Congratulations. I'll put it there. Ear biscuits. All right, my boys Rhett and Link, which Good Mythical Morning. Like, if you know me, I am a huge fan. I watch them daily. That's part of my morning routine. Every day I wake up and before I do anything, I watch Good Mythical Morning. It's a number one most watched daily comedy show on the internet. Number one. It's crazy. So, but that's just for daily comedy shows, though. So, I mean, that's a kind of a niche kind of category there. But so ear biscuits, like the podcast is different than Good Mythical Morning. Good Mythical Morning rules. Like, oh man, I live my life by a Good Mythical Morning, but and I wish I could be doing everything that they do on that show because it is fantastic. Eating crazy foods and doing crazy experiments, and you can tell they're best friends. They've been best friends since first grade. The ear biscuit is just more of a deeper dive into their life, and you get to find out about their personal story, like lives, the stories from them, crazy things that have happened to them, like vacations. You hear the deep dive about their kids and their like marriages and their deconstruction from Christianity is a lot of cool stuff. And I listen to them because I just love these guys so much. And they're total opposite on politics, especially Rhett. Rhett is like very opposite on the political scale, but I don't care. I don't care about any of that because like he's someone that like I love to death, and because I love him so much, I don't know if they're everyone's cup of tea as far as the podcast go, but I listen to them so much that it's like, oh man, it just feels like home. They're like comfort for me because I've been watching them for over 10 years, and they just have a like I even get warm fuzzy feelings like thinking about these two guys. So I gotta put them as my number two. They're just I love ear biscuits. I know not a lot of people are gonna agree. That's more of a hot take on that one because I don't think people love them the way I do. Uh, but uh, but but apparently a lot of people do if they're the number one daily comedy podcast on the internet. So we got Fake Doctors, Real Friends with Zach Braff and I don't know why I can't think of his name. Gosh dang it. I didn't think I was a space on Donald Faison. There we go. See, it came to me before I searched it. But yeah, I love Scrubs. I think Scrubs is awesome. They rewatch the episodes. They dive deep into each other's lives. They just talk about everything that's on their mind. I love when they do commercials for T-Mobile, and they're singing with John Travolta and all that stuff just because of them. I don't care about the commercial. I just love them. And they're two people that have some of the greatest chemistry. And oh man, and like I love going on this deep dive with them. The thing is, I don't love podcasts that don't have video. If you have a podcast, do video. Just do video. It's better. It's way better when you do video. I have a hard time listening to the audio only because you miss out on so much when you don't have video. So they need to do video, but I am going to still put them kind of high. I say kind of, but now the more that I look at, it's getting tougher for me to rank these. Let me just tell you that. I think I'll put them uh, just below Conan. That's where it's going. So between Conan and Comedy Bang Bang. All right, we got First Date with Lauren. I always want to say Lauren Compton. It's not Conrad. That's the one from the MTV reality show. But Lauren Compton. Like, I'll just be honest. I started watching her because she's smoking hot, and I'm pretty sure she has appeared nude a lot in Playboy and stuff like that. She wears these skimpy little outfits, but she's funny though. So she's more than just that. She's funny, and she like I'll be honest. She dresses the way I would want to a girl to dress because it's okay to dress sexy. It is okay. All my Mormon friends that might be watching, it's okay to do that because it's just part of your womanhood. But you should be able to dress how you want to dress. That's my take on it. If you want to dress sexy, great, and I love it. But if you want to dress more modestly, that's fine, and that's your choice, and you shouldn't have to feel like you need to get dressed up all the time. You shouldn't. You can wear sweats or wear like some baggy clothes or a t-shirt or like whatever. Just wear whatever you want. Like, I'm not a fashion guy. I don't care. It does. She does dress sexy though. So I'm just saying. But And the podcast is actually pretty good. She gets most of the top comedians on there. I think it's on the Your Mom's House network because Tom Segura has that network. Um, but even so, the fact that you're hot can only get you so much in life. I feel like, um, even though she is good, she is funny. I gotta put her probably in between the Big Shaq podcast and Comedy Bang Bang. Going there. All right, Flagrant 2 with freaking oh, I don't know, I'm spacing on their names. One that the podcast I space on their name is just showing like I don't watch Andrew. I know it's Andrew, and I'll tell you why I don't watch it daily. But let's see, uh, Andrew to host. It is Andrew Schultz. I should know that because he's one of the best comedy roasters out there. Like the like roast people. He killed it on the Tom Brady roast, and he's so fun. But I feel a sense of like cockiness, and I don't vibe that well with super cocky, like narcissistic people that kind of act like they know more, they're better than you and cooler than you, and you're just like not as cool as them, and they have their little like his show seems like the popular kids that in high school getting together and just dogging on everyone, because it's him and like Akash Singh is on there, and I don't know the other two though. That says Mark Gagnon and Alex Media. I don't know them that much, but he is funny and he is great, and his podcast still is good. I can't hold that all against me. That's just my personality type. I still think that he belongs to be in the S tier, like he does. He's probably I'm gonna put him in between About Last Night and Armchair Expert because with that Dr. Phil stuff again, like Adam Ray's killing it. So are you garbage? Sorry, you're moving down. Okay, 13 in the A. Once we get to 20, we got to drop some people down. But we got Fly on the Wall with Dana Carvey and David Spade. I love David Spade. I've seen him twice live do stand up. Never seen Dana Carvey, but I would love to because he does like some of the best impressions. He's one of the best impressionists of all time. And I love Wayne's World. I love him on Saturday Night Live. Even the Master of Disguise gets some pretty hard laughs out of me, even though the movie's not good. It's a bad movie, Master of Disguise. But Dana Carvey, like he's hilarious and he's awesome and he's a smart guy, and the two of them together are like really good. They started out doing video. I don't know if they still do video though. It kind of makes me sad. Do video, or I'm gonna rank you lower and not tune in as much. Just do video. But the names and like I followed David Spade's career. Also, I loved his talk show on Comedy Central. I gotta put them kind of high because I think they're awesome together. So kind of high actually. Man, I didn't think I'd go above Doug Loves Movies, but I gotta do it. Yeah. Like the episode where they had Mike Myers on, so it was a Wayne's World reunion. That was awesome. They've had like all the SNL cast from their era and even after that. It's awesome. All right. Getting Doug with High or getting back to Doug Benson. I don't know if he does this show anymore. I don't know if Doug Benson is doing much lately. I just don't know. I really don't. But I need to find out though. I need to know. So Doug Benson, he just gets high. There's one with Jack Black that's hilarious where he's like spinning around in his chair like over and over again. And then just like he does like Cheech and Chong episode, Willie Nelson, all the people that smoke. Snoop Dogg's been on there, like everyone. Wiz Khalifa. So and then just a lot of like people who don't get high, and he tries to convince them to get high. And he has the whole table spread out with all the stuff you would ever want, pipes and bongs and freaking like one hitters and I mean I only know so much about weed, edibles and joints and blunts and all that stuff. He's got dabs, he's got everything there, and it's fun, and I love me when some stuff when people get high. It's not as good as Doug Loves Movies, but I thought it deserved to be here enough. to where I would put him probably in between Armchair Expert and B and Ian. So, Doug, you get 2 in the S tier for now. Just for now. Okay, let's go with going deep with Chad and JT. Sorry, I got to squint to read some of these, but yeah, these are the like 2 like California surfer dude type guys. I mean, I think they're kind of doing characters, but I won't get into what their real names are, but you can look them up. They don't go necessarily by their real name, especially Chad goes by Chad Kroger, which is like the lead singer of Nickelback. It's funny, uh but they're funny, they're hilarious, they're like have a lot of like charisma. They're like 2 guys that could be in like a stoner comedy together. They remind me a lot of like Harold and Kumar in a lot of ways if they were both white, and just like really funny, kind of cool stand-up dudes with that. But I think they get high a lot. I feel like I don't know that for sure, but I feel like it. That they used to have that kind of personality, but they're funny. That's the thing. But I can't put them above some of these podcasts. I think I gotta put them. I watch them. This is how much like the way I'm kind of been ranking this is like how much I would want to watch these, how much I think other people would want to watch these. It's a combo of those, and how like funny because it's comedy and how much they make me laugh, and like how entertaining they are. So just uh yeah, just below Big Shack podcast in between Annie Wood. Okay, Gold Mines. This is one Kevin Hart. I've never listened to an episode, so as far as gold mines go, I have to put it down in the haven't seen, just because I didn't know that like Kevin Hart's doing like a million and one things. He's doing all kinds of TV shows, all kinds of movies, all kinds of that kind of stuff. And give me one second. I have this. If I bump my earbuds, it's gonna play something. Oh, hang on a second. Give me 1 minute. It's gonna start playing random music because that's the way um my earbuds work. They're connected to like 3 things at once because I got new earbuds and I can't bump them. Like, okay, let me find out. Sorry, I'm gonna take a little short little break. I wish I could put on the please stand by or technical difficulties, but I gotta find where that's coming from because I can't have music blasting in. Let's see. Is it coming from my? It's coming from my phone. I'm connected to multiple things. So for right now, I'm gonna disconnect the Bluetooth on my phone, and we'll leave it at that because I'm not seeing anything else open that's gonna like be playing music. So, uh, okay. Anyways, yeah. So that's that. I put it in the haven't seen. I know that Kevin Hart does multiple things and like way more than multiple. He does like 100 things at once. He might be the hardest working person in all of show business, honestly, with the amount of movies he does, the way he works out, like all the different things he's on. I watched him do commentary for the Olympics with Keenan Thompson, and he's funny. I'm a little sick of his movies. I'll be honest. I don't care about Kevin Hart in movies anymore. I just don't like. Borderlands is trash. It's getting garbage reviews, and I didn't like that like one where he was on an airplane on Netflix that just came out. So I don't know, but he always has hilarious stand up though. So he brings it home with that, and he was great as the roast master for Tom Brady. So who knows? But let's see. Whitney Cummings, good for you. She's funny. She's also pretty cute and attractive. I mean, no one's gonna beat my girl Lauren Compton, but I think she's uh, the Whitney's funnier though, and she just had a baby, and for some reason, every episode, I don't know if it's a thing that she does. I see her like taking off her shirt and like pulling it down or putting on a new shirt or changing, or if that's a thing where she's like just off screen every time something starts and she's just um like like almost nudity. That's how you draw people in. I don't know. Maybe that's just a coincidence, but I've seen her like 5 times on different things. But she used to have like pink hair and blue hair, something like that, purple hair, something like that. She kind of went through that phase, but she's Hilarious. She's hosted a lot of stuff. She's had her own sitcom, like multiple sitcoms. She's funny. She's good. I really like her. She's probably one of my favorite female comedians working today. She's friends with like Bobby Lee and friends with like a lot of popular comedians that I love in my circle. So I gotta put her pretty high. Definitely probably above Getting Dug with High. Sorry. I don't know about Armchair Expert. I gotta leave him there. So Getting Dug with High. Sorry, you will now only have one in the S tier. H3 podcast. Ethan Klein. I don't know what to think about his because I think it's trash, like trashy entertainment where he just wants to like find every controversial story out there, but he's so good. He's better than anyone out there that does it, of making it funny and making it just like the bringing out the comedy and every controversial like thing that like TMZ reports. It's like if like I think it's almost like I feel like H3 and TMZ are competing to like see who can get the story out there first because the H3 is always one of the first people to comment on things, and he'll try to get people like when Bobby Lee and Kalila were having a feud with Brendan Schaub. He had Bobby and Kalila and tried to get him to talk about them and start beefs, and he subtly has this way of starting like getting people to start beefs with each other and getting mad at each other and causing controversy and like borderline getting canceled type of stuff. And it's that's what kind of makes it entertaining, but it's trash. It's all trashy stuff though. He's not just doing it just for comedy. He's doing it to like push people's buttons. He really knows how to dig in and find the things that like bother people. But he's funny. He is funny. Like I just watched his last one where he's spoofing a bunch of movies and like made a uh his own little movie kind of thing that was pretty good. So I still put him pretty high though. That's the thing. He still gets me. I'm sorry. Like sorry Whitney, but I got to bring you down. H3 might just be there for a minute. And I think he does it with his wife too. They're the two hosts. Let's see. Handsome, that's Tig Notaro, that's Fortune Feemster, and let's see. I don't know the other girls. So podcast hosts. Let's see. We got Tig Notaro, Fortune Feemster, and Mae Martin. So they're all lesbians, and they're all hilarious. Like probably the funniest lesbians that like working today. I think Fortune Feemster had a little role in Office Christmas Party, that movie. She was the like a limousine driver, and so yeah, I'm going to put this sort of high because I love Tig and I love Fortune Feemster, and I think what they're doing together is pretty dang good. Yeah, maybe above Armchair, above Flagrant. Yep, I'll put it right there. Um, and give me 1 second, guys. I'm still gonna be here on camera. I gotta jump off screen for a quick second. Still here. Sorry, I'm getting stuffed up. I don't think you guys want to see me snort something up my nose. Anyways, oh, you guys did see it because you did see it. Okay, well, you saw it, and that's fine. I don't care. It's fine. No big deal. I took down the tier chart instead of doing that. So when I get stuffed up, I gotta take that stuff. Sorry. Let me bring it back up. Sorry. Like I have this like when I have to host this versus someone else hosting, I have all these windows open, and I thought I was like turning my camera off for a second. Nope. Was not doing that. Let me see. That's turning off my camera. So it's all good. It's all good. I can breathe better. Much better. So so I don't start sounding like this while I'm talking to you guys. But okay, let's get back into this. I need to go faster, but I thought I could do this quick, guys. I guess not, but it's all good. We're having fun, right? Harlan Highway, Harlan Williams. Harlan Williams is another almost weekly watch. Sometimes he has a guest that just doesn't like I don't find funny or I don't like vibe with him. But when he's doing a solo show or he's the guest on someone else's show or like he was great on Joe Rogan. He's been great on. He was on Lauren Compton's show First Date. He was on like he's been on Bad Friends. He's been on Tiger Belly. He's been on like a bunch of stuff, and he's hilarious. He does his own artwork. He draws his own shirts. I mean, you probably know Harlan as the cop from Dumb and Dumber, like you'd shut your mouth if you knew it was good for you. And he makes that weird noise when he drinks the urine out of the bottle. And then he's in Something About Mary, like 6 Minute Abs. He's in I always want to say Dazed and Confused. Half Baked. Then Half Baked is the guy that's in the prison with him, and then also feeding the horse food. But he's funny. Like he hits me in a way that it's just so good. He's the silliest of all the comedians on this list. Just silly. Just like the stuff he says is just wild and off the wall, and it's in the best way possible, and it's so funny that I have to watch him every week because I need my dose of silliness. I gotta have uh for me personally, I like having comedians of different races because you get a different cultures out of there. Then I have my staples like your Rhett and Link and your Bad Friends and Chrissy Chaos. But then you have the people that are goofy. You have people that are dry humor like Tig or Neil Brennan. And you have like different styles of you have people that are really raunchy. You have people that are like the cockier ones or the ones that are like really nice guys, like just different types of people. And Harlan fits the silly goofball kind of comedy that's just really silly and over the top, but it's so good that I got to put him pretty freaking high. Like I'm going to put him above the Dana Carvey one. I think I like Chrissy a little better though, but sorry, Dax, going down. Huh? I know. Look, I got to apologize to these guys. Okay, let me count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, one more, and then we're going to get into B territory. So this is the one that I always have to look really close because it's hard to read. It's Jamie Kennedy's podcast, which I can't even read it or like know what it's called. I have watched a couple of episodes. Jamie, let's see. And I met Jamie Kennedy at a convention. He was awesome. Like a really cool guy. What is this called? Pride with Jamie Kennedy. No, that's not it. You know what? I'm gonna have to go up to the screen and read it. Oh, I'm still here, guys. I'm here. It's here to something to you. I can't even read it, but anyways, it's Jamie Kennedy's podcast. Podcast here to because I want to figure it out. I don't think that I'm going to. Weird. I can look it up on my phone better than I can on anything else. What is the name of Jamie Kennedy's podcast? Hate to break it to you, man. I can't read it. It's like the font is literally this big, like on the little graphic. So sorry, I hate to break it to ya. And I've only seen like one episode, but I saw him on Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee and Kalila, and he was hilarious. And I met him, and I love Scream. I don't love all of his other movies, like Son of the Mask sucks, but Beverly Hills Most Wanted, something like that. Malibu's Most Wanted. There you go. But that one is a guilty pleasure, I'll say. But so it's hard to really rank his podcast. I think I'm gonna have to put it down in the haven't seen because one, it just isn't enough for me. I just don't feel like it is. But then we got Hey Babe with Sal Vulcano from Impractical Jokers and Chrissy Chrissy Chaos. I really like Chrissy D. Sal Vulcano's hit and miss. There are times where I absolutely love that guy. And I think he's so funny, laugh out loud, hilarious. And then there's other times where he's cringy and things he says that are not funny and they're just like making me like cringe, like physically cringe. And I'm just like, what am I watching? And the way, especially when he brings up music and he's like constantly wanting to sing, and then it's kind of a gimmick that they open their show with singing about the podcast and relating each episode to a song, but it brings it down a notch the way he can be cringy. But there's other times where Sal is great, and I love the guy, and I think he's so funny. And his last stand-up special, I can't remember what it's called, like Terrified or something, is really good. So go watch that. But I still want to give it an S because of Chrissy D, and they have great chemistry. Krista Stefano. I think I gotta put it, yeah, like higher than like higher than I would think. Probably above Club Random, between Doug Loves Movies and Club Random. So sorry, Andrew Schultz. Flagrant 2 is going down. Okay, let's see. Hiking with Kevin. So I love me some Kevin Nealon, and I love that he gets huge guests. I love when he had Conan on there and Jack Black and all these guys. The show's 15 minutes long. That's not long enough for a podcast, and it feels very disjointed and all over the place. And maybe there's this place where like he has like a Patreon. I'm not seeing the full episodes. Maybe he has them out there, but I have not seen them, so I have to rate his podcast kind of low because it's a cool idea if it was like an hour long, but it's not. It's 15 minutes. That's crazy. And he goes out of his way to get these crazy drone shots and crazy. I don't know. I feel like the guests get annoyed with his drone shots, and it's just not that not executed well. I'll say that he is a genius of a human being. He's so funny, but it's just not executed well. So I got to put it right above the Big Shaq podcast. I'll put it there. I mean, I almost want to, you know what? No, it's going below Big Shaq. That's where I'm putting it. So that means I think we have enough. We got to move Bertcast down. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21. Yep. So Bert, see ya. Trash. Bert Kreischer is trash. Like I should make like a segment on like one of my shows. Bert Kreischer is trash. Zach Morris is trash. Because I think he's trash. I just do. He just cares about being in the limelight. That's why he has this huge tour that he does, and he puts every comedian up, and they're doing crazy. Listen to stories of that tour that's on there. I don't even know what the tour's called. I haven't bothered to really learn what it is, but he has everyone on there, every big comedian working today pop up, and he's having fun. Good for you. I'm glad you're having fun and living a life, but I'm not a fan. All right, the Honeydew podcast with Ryan Sickler. You talk about one of the nicest guys in all of stand-up comedy, Ryan Sickler, and he has the like crazy high laugh, like all attempted. Like that's how he laughs. He laughs like that. And he gets a lot of flack for it, but as I knocked my microphone over, he uh he embraces it. He says, "It's how I laugh. It's how I'm going to do it. People want to say what they want to say. That's fine." He had a crazy near-death experience where he's in the hospital and gets horrible blood clots, and it, like almost died after like a routine, some kind of routine surgery we went in for. You can hear him tell the story all over the place. Just look it up, like Ryan Sickler near-death experience. But the honeydew, he even talked about why he calls it that, and I think it's something related to, if I remember right, that like honeydew is one of those like obscure fruits that nobody likes and nobody really eats and no one really gives a chance. But he kind of relates that to himself, and he wants to people to embrace him more, and he embraces the honeydew. So that's sort of, I probably didn't explain that totally right, but that's okay. Honeydew is going to be, I really like the guy, and it pays off when you're nice, but also still hilariously funny, and you have a contagious laugh. I don't find the laugh annoying as my voice squeaks. I don't find it annoying. But I don't love it either. It's just kind of okay. That's a laugh. So, but he's definitely more interesting than some of these podcasts. I haven't seen Number One Dad yet. I like it more than Are You Garbage. I kind of like it more than being Ian, if I'm being honest, and getting dubbed with high. And man, he's going higher than I thought. And H3, armchair expert, flagrant 2. I like him better than all those. And that's where it's gonna stop. I don't think he'll be at the top of A. So 2 bears, 1 cave. See ya. Hot ones. So I included hot ones, even though it's not your traditional podcast. It's famous celebrities eating hot wings, but Sean Evans is such a good host and eats that hot sauce every week with these guests, and I guess to suffer right there with him. I'm sure he's gotten used to doing it by now. He has to. I mean, and every single episode, one of the guests says like, "That's a great question," or "I love that a question," or they allude to that. Like he apparently asks really good questions, and he has everyone on there. He had freaking Kate Blanchett on there, and he's having like Angela Bassett. He's having like huge name people on there. He just had Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on there for Deadpool. Like just a lot of cool, like the Shane Gillis episode. People said he was kind of boring. I kind of liked him. I don't know. And then of course the Conan one was like an all timer. But when he's rubbing hot sauce all over his nipples and stuff, so Hot Ones has been growing on me. I thought it was kind of gimmicky at first, and I've grown to really love it. Like I think it's really good. So it's got to be in the S, and it's got to be definitely above Hey Babe. So we'll put it there. Doug loves movies just because he doesn't do enough video, and the way it's done too. It's done with really great music and great. They get beautiful just camera shot. I know it's just of hot wings and hot sauce, but spinning around there and the way that it's shot and just the epicness of it. Better than Fly on the Wall. Not better than Harlan Highway though. Sorry. So handsome, you're going down. That means Chris D'Elia. I don't care. You there. How did this get made? I always forget. I know Paul Shear's on it, but how did this get made? Hosts. Let's see. Paul Shear, June Diane or Raphael, and Jason Mantzoukas. Oh yeah, Jason Mantzoukas. Frick. And this is what I listened to a long time ago. They've been doing this forever. I don't even know if they still do this podcast, to be honest. I used to listen to it like years ago, maybe like 2015 or 16 or something. They've been going for a long time, and I hope they're still going. I'll have to check back in. It's been too long, but and they're hilarious. They're really, really good. Man, but I'll put it just Conan. Doctors. Bang bang. I'll put it just below Lauren Compton and Big Shaq podcast. How Mandela does stuff. This is one I don't intend to watch this one like every week almost, but it pops up in my algorithm a lot. I don't know. He's in the algorithm and it pops up a lot. And when I see it, I'm always like, yes, please. And I click on it, and they have really great guests. They just had one of the former Playboy like bunny girls that was Hugh Hefner's girlfriend that's still really smoking hot, but like isn't associated with that anymore. Does her own thing, and yeah. But he's had everyone on there, like every like big famous comedian. Really good guest. He does it. Mendel does it with his daughter, Jacqueline Schultz. They're the two hosts, and then the rest of his sons are producing it and stuff. It's a family thing, and I think it's cool. He has this cool little what I want to call it, like AI kind of virtual thing where like you have a screen, this big giant screen. You have someone from anywhere in the world gets in a booth, and they it'll broadcast their picture, but not just broadcast it. It looks like they are standing in the room with you, and it's crazy. It's crazy technology. Looks like they're right there. There's no buffering, no interference, no lag. And like it looks like you're real. It's as real as like this cup that I have here, as real as that looks right there, that the person is there, but they're on a screen, it's crazy. So because he does that 'cause he's a germaphobe. So and then he uses new technology, embraces a lot of it. He has a thing where where his shows are broadcast into movie theaters, and he has a live audience to the movie theater where he can interact back and forth with the live audience. And then he like does cool things. Like he has a band, or the band come up with personalized scripted songs for the guest, that it gets really deep and personal. Like the first one I saw was Sal Volcano, and they got really personal about him and the song, and he was loving it. And like he always has the like prolapse anus picture, which is a famous thing he put onto I think TikTok, and he showed a video of it, and he didn't know what it was, and he almost got canceled over it because it's really like graphic. And then he shows the video to his guests and watches them freak out. But and then he has the custom logos that the logos like are tailor made to like the guests they're gonna have, and it's really cool. So a lot of production value, a lot of production, and like he just sits there and acts like he has no idea what's going on or what's happening. He's like, we don't put any prep or anything. We just show up, and no, they put a lot of prep into it, and it makes it really fun and entertaining. So this one's gonna go pretty dang high, like probably just under Harlan Highway. Yeah, it's really a high quality. So I would highly recommend. Howie Mandel does stuff. That means Dudesy going down. That's fine. I don't know with Jim Jeffries, and we got a lot left, so I got to fly. But I don't know. Jim Jeffries is one of the most hilarious people on earth. He's from Australia. He's and for my money, the best Australian comedian and one of the best storytellers. He can tell a story like nobody's business and make it like part of his stand-up routine. He can say the word cunt and like never get canceled for it. He can say it more than anybody else. He calls everyone like, "Ah, she's just a cunt," just like that cunt over there. You know, he uses it in like everyday conversation. It's casual, just like Australians and British people do. And for I don't know about that, they have an expert in any given topic. Could be something to do with like I don't know, like making different things, a gun expert, an expert in like neuroscience or movies, even like sexual stuff he's had on there just for like education purposes. And then he's had like, I mean, it's been a minute since I've watched it. I haven't tuned in for like 3 months, 3 or 4 months, but I need to get back into some. I don't know about that because he's hilarious, and I heard he's one of the nicest guys in comedy too. That's what I hear from a lot of comedians. And yeah, I really love. I don't know about that. Like that might be one of the higher ones. He does it with a couple of the same people that are like friends of his that are Duke stand-up comedy. He makes it a point to not have guests. He doesn't want to worry about having to book people. He came out and said it on his podcast. He just wants to keep it simple. He just shows up. The crew pretty much puts it all together. He shows up. He doesn't even know who the guest is going to be or what their expertise is, and he has to try and guess from different subtle clues like what their expertise is. And so it's pretty cool. I need to go back. I need to watch some. He just fell off my radar and out of my algorithm, and I need to get him back. So I don't know about that. That's going pretty high. Probably above Blocks. Don't Ask Tig. That's pretty similar to people that don't know about things. But I think I got to put it in between Club Random and Don't Ask Tig, which, Blocks. Oh, that deserves an S. Now we're getting to the point where the ones we're dropping down to the A, they deserve to be there, but I'm only going to have a top 10. Going to be picky about it. So, drop in Call Her Daddy. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Annie Wood down. Okay. All right. What do we have next? We have the Idiot Podcast with Chris Hardwick, which I haven't listened to for a minute. It's been 5 or 6 years since I've listened to it. And I love Chris Hardwick. He was famously almost canceled. It came out that the girl made it all up and it was full of shit. And I'm going to say that, I'm going to like say that she was full of shit, because that's like really effed up for somebody to ever, for any woman or man, it doesn't matter, to make up BS about somebody and put it out there and act like you were traumatized and abused, because it's happened to me. And I've had things made up to about me by certain people that have tried to like get me canceled and tried to to like say that I did things that I never did, and it's nuts. And he almost got canceled over. And Chris Hardwick is a great host. When he hosted it at midnight, he hosted The Wall, that game show, hosted Talking Dead, and he has Idiot, and he just has all kinds of crazy cool guests. And I need to get back in and listen to some Idiot. I just don't think they do video either. It's another one that's like been like audio only, and I hate it. Like, just do video, please. Like, video is way better. Like, I don't even see a point. I mean, okay, I do see a point to audio, but I'm so turned off by audio only podcasts that like I just almost don't really ever listen to audio only podcasts. Like, I'm a big proponent of have video on your podcast. Have video. It's not that hard. But maybe audio, you think you can like record from anywhere and still do exactly what you want. I don't know, but Idiot's pretty good. It's just been so long that it's gotta be I'll put it above Comedy Bang Bang, in between Fake Doctors, Real Friends. Inside You with Michael Rosenbaum. That was one of the extra podcasts that I added when I had 100. I'm like, oh, Michael Rosenbaum. He has an awesome podcast, and he deserves to be mentioned. I've met him at Comic-Con. I went to his panel. I went to the whole Smallville panel. And even during the actors strike, they talked all about the whole show and about all their projects and stuff. And they were fine. They didn't get in trouble. So it's weird. I don't know. But he's really cool, really funny. I kind of get this, like, I know he played a villain. He played Lex Luthor. And when I first started watching it, I'm getting this kind of dick kind of vibe. This guy's kind of a dick. But that's just residual feelings from watching Smallville and like just seeing how he acts on there. I heard that he's a really nice guy, and when I met him in person, he was nice. He was really cool. So yeah, not a dick, and like really cool. It has a lot of awesome guests on it. Really tiny little podcast studio. I feel like they're recording inside a box kind of thing, but it's a cool setup, what he has. And it's cool that he's kind of like made it big, this Michael Rosenbaum guy. So I like him enough to put him right above Comedy Bang Bang. There you go. Okay. Kill Tony. You gotta have Kill Tony. I Kill Tony was like my 100th, like at number 100 that I added. I can't believe I didn't think of adding Kill Tony till that late in the game. But Kill Tony is, like, for lack of a better word, killing it and like launching people's careers into the stratosphere. One of the most popular podcasts on earth. Tony Hinchcliffe is like just a killer. Like, he's all the killer like this. He's killing it. He's just like, he's so funny, so good. The guests they have when they did that Donald Trump and Joe Biden one, where it was Adam Ray playing Joe Biden and freaking Shane Gillis playing Donald Trump, who does an amazing impression for the whole episode, or that Harlan Williams one. Kill Tony has to be an S. It has to be. Like, I'll feel like an idiot if I didn't put it in S. And it's got to be. I didn't love it when I first started watching it because I thought it's just roasting, and roasting's not always my thing. I don't love roasting because I'm more about like kindness and that kind of stuff. But roasting has its place, and when it's good, it's good and it's funny. Don't want to put it. Yeah. Not above Chrissy Chaos. Like, that's my home right there. These three podcasts so far are like, I may have another one or two that pop in there, but yeah. So Tig, sorry Tig, you got to go to A, which means Chad and JT, you're in B. Okay, and I'll break down my 5 worst at the end. I only do 5, but Bert is gonna be in there. But Legion of Skanks, all right. So I haven't watched a lot of Legion of Skanks either. And actually, to the point where I gotta put Legion of Skanks in the haven't seen. And for how popular that show is, and how people just love the effing Legion of Skanks. And I need to sit down and watch a full episode. I don't think I've seen a full episode. I've seen little clips. Skanks hosts. Because I know, oh, my bad. Legion of Skanks host. Um, it is Big J Okerson, love him. Louis J Gomez, he's pretty good. He's on another podcast we'll talk about here in a minute. Dave Smith, don't know him that well, and I think that Bobby Kelly was part of it at some point. I think, but yeah, sorry, I just need to watch more Legion of Skanks. Literally with Rob Lowe, I haven't seen much of that either. I've seen like 3 or 4. It's enough to because he's had some big guests on there because he's from freaking Low and he's been a celebrity since I was born and like my entire living life and he's awesome and Rob Lowe's actually been on a bunch of podcasts. He was on Tiger Belly and I know he was on more than just that. Rob Lowe podcast. I can't remember the other one he was on. Are You Garbage? He was on that. He was on uh he's on Are You Trippin' with Ari Shafir. He was on uh just a lot of stuff recently. He was on Conan, I know. So he's been making the rounds though on all the podcasts and it's been freaking great. And I love Rob Lowe, especially when he came on Parks and Rec. So what where did I put that now? There we go. Okay. So literally, he's awesome. He's so funny and entertaining. Could watch this guy forever. Some guys are just naturally entertaining. They're just are just themselves, and they don't feel like they're not really putting forth any effort, and they're like the most entertaining people. So I don't think I'll put him above though. Jim Jeffries, I just can't do it. So it'll be at the top of A. There you go. Okay. Let's see. Long Days with Giannis Papas. So Giannis Papas, he's Greek and he's best friends with John frickin' Stamos. It's crazy. So he goes on these podcasts and John Stamos will tag along, and it's kind of interesting. It's cool. So and yeah, he's just funny, and somehow he has the Homeless Pimp, which is a famous podcast producer, and like does a lot of stand-up specials, and he's a really awesome guy. He used to produce Chrissy D's podcast, but now I think he still has the Homeless Pimp do it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of Dan Soder actually. Dan Soder does the Homeless Pimp used to do it when they Chris Stefano and Giannis Papas had a podcast together called History of Hyenas. That they went down like a whole Wikipedia page on historical events, and then kind of went off onto funny tangents and funny one-liners and bits and stuff, and broke down historical events, and it was fun. And they had a falling out, and I've never really gotten to the bottom of what happened there. They just said that they wanted to go their own separate ways, but neither one of them will really talk about it. I think Giannis has maybe talked about more than Chris, but Giannis is still great, still funny, still really good, but it's hard to put him that high. I'll put him above Michael Rosenbaum and in between Idiot, but yeah, I'll leave him there. Let's see. We got Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast. This one's tough because I love Shane Gillis to death. I think he's one of the funniest human beings. I watch all of Tires. I like when he hosted Saturday Night Live. That was appointment television for me. I made sure I was there to watch it live, and I don't do that very often. And I wanted to get a bunch of friends together and maybe watch it, but and I think he's a genius and has almost perfect comedic timing. And like SNL, what a crime that you didn't put him in the cast. But it kind of launched him into the stratosphere. But Matt McClusker, the guy that he does the podcast with, he's funny too. He's no Shane, but he's funny. The podcast is kind of boring though. Like I like watching clips and compilations of like some of the best bits, but the podcast isn't that good or interesting or funny. Shane's just funny when he shows up on other um podcasts and does stand up. So I can't even put him all that high. Like they're actually gonna be pretty dang low. Oh man, I'm actually sad how low I'm putting Matt and Shane because it has nothing to do with their comedy. If we were like rating how funny they are, he'd be in top 5, but I gotta put him. I'll at least put him above Shaq. I haven't seen How Did This Get Made for a while. I'll put him above Lauren Compton just because I mostly have her high as she is because she's hot. I haven't seen Comedy Bang Bang in a minute, quite a while. Right there. I don't know though. They got to go above Michael. I'm sorry, and Giannis. Yeah. And actually, I'm gonna switch these to. I don't know. Giannis is funnier. Michael's more interesting though. I'll put him above it. I don't know. Above Idiot. Sure. I'll slowly move him up. I don't think I can put him above Conan though. I can't. So, let's go to Monday Morning Podcast with Bill Burr. Bill Burr is one of the funniest human beings alive, especially when he gets angry and just like gets pissed off at things. It's so entertaining, so good. And when he's appeared on Conan, those were some of the best times when he just laughs at these stupid effing people. He says the F word every other word. He does. It's just the way that Boston people talk. I don't know what it is. Like I'm not even gonna attempt to do a Boston accent because I could try and it's gonna sound stupid, but I'm like you go find some parking out in the parking lot. Like I just use the word parking. Huh? We're gonna go get a bagel. Like it almost ends up sounding Irish. It sounds terrible. It's not good. It doesn't even sound Irish. It sounds just not like any accent. I don't know, but anyways, it's a site I would do it because why not? But Bill Burr, he's good, but he doesn't do much video either. He does some video, I guess, but not that much. And for as funny as he is, it's just him talking about his week and complaining about stuff. But he's kind of entertaining. I'll put him above Matt and Shane, probably. I mean, as a stand-up, he's top 10 of all time, but as the podcast, I don't know. He's right there. I'll just say that. Okay, Nate Land with Nate Bargatze. Really good stuff, really funny. I just haven't watched a lot. I've seen like 3 or 4 episodes. And I think maybe he does it. Oh, I got to give a shout out to a podcast I forgot now. It's called Two Cool Moms. And I shoulda, woulda, coulda had it on here. It won't end up being on here, but that's the one with Joe Gatto, who used to be on Practical Jokers, which I will never find out why he left, but I think it's because he cheated on his wife. I think that's my speculation. I don't know because his wife divorced him right at that time, or they had major problems and maybe they're working it out. I don't know, but it's with Steve Byrne though, and yeah, that's a great podcast. Great, but I don't have it on here, so I can't rank it. But check out Two Cool Moms. That's a great podcast. But let's see. So Nate Lands, like Nate Bargatze is so funny and he does clean humor, but he does it in a way that's just so he's kind of dry, but kind of just so funny. And he hosted SNL because he's that good. And he deserved it because it's so good the way that he's talking about like the way that the difference between British and American culture, the way that we measure things and that kind of stuff. It's just so funny. Go back and watch that. Just watch the whole episode of Nate Bargatze hosting SNL. It's really good. And the podcast is pretty funny. Like it's pretty. I don't know. I gotta put it pretty high above Flagrant for sure. It's above literally. It's above all these other ones. Blocks should be higher. I think Blocks is really good. I'm moving up Blocks because I can. I'll put Nate Land at just below literally. No, I'll put it below Don't Ask Tig. Yeah. Okay, we'll leave it there. Some of these, this is getting tough to rank. So that means hiking with Kevin. Okay, let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh, whoa, there's a lot. Okay. Shaq's moving down. How did this get made? Moving down. Is that it? 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 times 6 is 24. So 4 more got to move down. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Shoot. I don't like having some of those down there that low, but it is what it is. We have net positive with John Chris. John Chris is a super Christian guy, but he doesn't throw his Christianity in your face. He talks about it. He has like some live shows where he does a lot of cool like out and about type of stuff where he goes to the grocery store and has a video that went viral where we're talking about Chef Boyardee, like too white, canceled, and Jemima, not black enough, canceled, or like whatever. And he's just like telling like all the different like things that should be canceled. One of my favorite videos like a comedian's done. So brilliant. And then he has one where this video where he rides in gets a taxi or an Uber, or something, but has no driver. It's just like self-driving the whole way. And he has to sit in the back of this van, and he's like really freaked out and shocked when it shows up. I don't know if it was planned to not have a driver or what, but it's pretty good. And then he does get into Christianity, but in a kind of just a subtle type of way that like oddly works, and he almost got canceled for a little bit because he had some sexual things that he was getting into with girls and that kind of stuff. But that happens when you get famous. But he's so funny, and I really vibe with his personality. So he's definitely going up here. He's going pretty high actually because he's brilliant. He can come up with hilarious stuff on the spot to where I almost want to put him above Blocks, but I can't. But I can put him above Rob Lowe. So John Chris, go check him out. Like I first heard about him from watching Theo Vaughn's podcast, which we'll get to eventually. We're getting there. Never Not Funny. I can't remember who's on that one. Sorry. Let's see. A lot of people are probably screaming at me, but that's fine. Off camera. Funny hosts. It's Jimmy Pardo and Rachel Coindance, Daniel Cohen, and Graham Elwood. I don't know these guys that much. I just know this podcast is popular. Never seen an episode, so I can't rank it. Sorry. I mean, I can't watch everything. There's just not enough time in the day. Kind of like the next one, which is Off Menu, which has James Acaster, which I think he's a brilliant British comedian. I love James Acaster, but I haven't seen his podcast. Let's see, Off Menu host, because I want to shout out the other guy he does it with, James Acaster and Ed Gamble. So if you're a fan of James Acaster, which go check him out, he's hilarious. But I haven't seen his podcast. Office Ladies, I'm going to put this pretty low. I think it's cool that Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey, they do rewatches of The Office. And it's one of the most popular podcasts that it got one of those Spotify deals and makes a crap ton of money because The Office is so popular. But I just don't find it all that entertaining. It's just fun when they had Steve Carell on there. And it's one that where it's not, they don't film it. Film your podcast. Anyways. I said that enough, but it's going to be pretty low. Like literally like one of the lowest on the list. No, right there. Bert will always be the lowest for me. Spoilers, but only Feehans. It's Karen Feehans with her butt hanging out there. She's another pretty cutie stand-up comedian. She is on Tires as one of the bikini car wash girls. I figured that out because I'm really good. Like it's one of my kind of like superpowers is when I watch a movie or a TV show or a commercial, I can pick out voices. I can pick out like who people are. People have a cameo or they pop up into something. And when I saw Karen Feehan like pop with one of those bikini girls on Tires on the Netflix show, the Shane Gillis Netflix show, I was like that's Karen Feehan. I guarantee it. Looked it up. It was her. It's kind of like one of like me and my best friend Chris Scott, who's on the show sometimes. Me and him have a back and forth where he's horrible at picking out people, and he'll pick out people from these movies and TV shows and different thing commercials and swear to his dying breath that it's this person. And I'll say, no, it's not. It's not them. He's like, I'm like, yes, it is. Like, I'll bet you money that it's that person. We look it up. He's always wrong. 90% of the time, I'd say he's probably wrong. Sorry, Chris. I know you hate to hear that, but it's true. But yeah, she's all right. I've only seen 3 or 4 episodes of her. She's funny. I think I came across her on Jeremiah Watkins stand up on the spot, which frick, I forgot Jeremiah Watkins show. Trailer Trash with Trailer Trash Tammy. Oh my gosh. I gotta look up that one real quick. We gotta pause this. This Trailer Tales should have been there. Tales, like, oh, and then Jeremiah Watkins has another podcast, but Tales hosts is hosted by Dave, which is like Jeremiah Watkins, Tammy, and Crystal. Are just so good. Crap, because that one might have made an S tier, and it's not going to, because if I forgot it, I forgot it. That's my bad. So, and then, he also has Jeremiah Wonders, where like Jeremiah does great characters. He's so good at coming up with these crazy kooky characters. He's on the Dr. Phil stuff with Adam Ray, and always comes out as a character that it gets the crap beat out of him at the end of every episode and stomped on. It's funny. It's really good stuff, and it's yeah, Jeremiah Watkins. He used to do with Bobby Lee's brother. What was that show? Scissor Brothers. Man, do I miss Scissor Brothers. That would have been an S tier for sure, and they stopped doing Scissor Brothers. And I feel like I dropped the ball on that, because Scissor Brothers should be an S tier. I don't think that there's going to be a way for me to quickly add anything. So, let me just take a look really quick. I might be able to add it in post, do a shout out to Scissor Brothers, and to Trailer Tales, but I think I got to keep it going. But there is a way to add it, but I just think it's more than I have time to do right now. When it was meant to be short content, and it's not. But so yeah, OnlyFans though, I haven't seen a lot. I think she's funnier than Annie would, so I'll put it right there. Okay, let's go. Pod Meets World. I don't know if I'd say that this is really comedy, but it's used to be my favorite show of all time until Cobra Kai came along. But Pod Meets World is Will Friedle, Will Friedle, who I've met at a convention before. Eric from Boy Meets World, the older brother. Then it's Ryder Strong, who played Sean, and Daniel Fishel, who played Topanga, and they should have got Ben Savage on there. What are you doing, Ben Savage, running for Congress or something in California? They asked him to do it. He said no. They should have had Ben Savage on there. But anyways, it's still good. I mean, it's not as funny as some of these other ones, but I love it. It's a personal pick for me, so it's gonna go fairly high. I'm not gonna put it in S though. Oh man, that's still eating me up that I don't have Scissor Brothers on here and Trailer Tales, and also Tammy, Trailer Trash Tammy doing mukbangs. That's kind of a podcast. Her doing mukbangs. Go watch that. I have not watched a solid mukbang from Tammy. Go look up Trailer Trash Tammy right now, even if you have to stop watching this, and watch freaking one of her mukbangs at a fast food restaurant. So good, so funny. One of the best characters out there. And you make sure you come back though. Come back and finish this. But okay, we got Regs. Let's try to speed it up a little bit. Regs is, I know it's Joe List. It's I'm not gonna be able to remember them all. Bobby Kelly. And I know there's 2 more guys. The other guy from Legion of Skanks. Robert Kelly, Louis J. Gomez, Joe List, Dan Soder. Yeah, Dan Soder. I forgot he is on Regs too. Dang, Regs is pretty good because like that group right there is so funny together. You get enough funny comedians together, you're gonna have gold, and it's like pretty good. Like, oh, Regs is one of those ones that like could almost be in the S tier. Just because, you know what? I can't do it. I can't put it above my boy, Jim Jeffries. Sorry, but you're at the top of A. So there you go. Woo 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 woo, riffing with Griffin. One of the best intros on a podcast where he sings it live every single time with that beat that he has, and it's so fun. And I love him. He just does his own solo thing, just him talking about all these different topics, and he talks about sports. He's a basketball guy. He talks about the Olympics. Talks about movies. He talks about a lot of the stuff that I'm in. He was on Workaholics, and he was the Montez guy that worked in the office with them. But and he's also on this other show called The Golden Hour. But he's friends with like Bobby Lee. He's friends with Pauly Shore. He's friends with a lot of people in the stand-up game, and he's good. He's not gonna be the highest though. I'm gonna put him just below Conan. He is good. He's been popping up in my algorithm lately, actually. All right, Sag Daddy. So this is a very recent one because I watched his last stand-up. So this is a newer comedian, Brendan Sagalow. I wanted to include him because I laughed my self sick watching his last stand-up special that came out, and I watched it night one when it came out. I just happened to catch it in my feed. I didn't even know he was gonna have one. And he's a little bit chubby guy, but he raps, and he raps really good. He's a really good rapper, and he raps the intro to his podcast, the intro to his special. He's good at it, and he's just off the wall and so funny. I think he might be a redhead. I think, but anyways, go check out Brendan Sagalow. One of the funniest newer. I don't know if he's newer. He's probably been doing comedy for a long time, but he's newer to me, and I think he's laugh out loud hilarious to the point where he's so funny. I gotta put him for sheer entertainment value up there. Like it's just for how much I freaking laugh my head off. I won't put him above Blocks because Blocks is special, but I'll put him right there. That's high, and that's like pretty high for a newer comedian. Okay, we got to move some stuff down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 6, that's 24, 25. We got to move 5 down. Oosh. Okay, 5. 1, 2. Oh, Shane. 3. Bill. 4. And Griffin. And Conan might be down in B. Fudge me. And say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's the first one to go and see Burtcast. Peace. Okay, let's go with this one, Cat and Pat. It's definitely one I haven't seen, so I'm automatically going to throw it in here. But it was on a bunch of lists that I looked up. I can't read what the top part says. I think it got cut off. Cat and Pat podcast. It's Seek Treatment with Cat and Pat Headgum. I don't know much about them. I don't know anything about it, so it's going there. Make that one quick. Smart List. That's Jason Bateman. That's a guy from Will and Grace that I always forget his name. And Will Arnett. Sean Hayes. That's it. And they're really funny. They don't do video. Another one doesn't do video. Why do the bigger celebrities are the ones that don't do video? I don't get that. Do video. I'm gonna say that every time that someone doesn't do video, but they have big guests. They had Conan on there. They have I don't know, let's just look up because they've had some of the biggest guests of any podcast. Let's say list of smart list guests. Let's see. They've had Dax Shepard, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Melissa McCarthy, Seth Rogen. They had Kamala Harris on there way back in the day. Ooh, interesting. Will Ferrell was on there. Let's see. I'm bringing up IMDb. I'm not gonna read it. All of them, but if it's a huge Adam Sandler, they had him on there. Reese Witherspoon. Conan O'Brien, it says top rated for that one, I guess. Let's see who else. Paul McCartney, they freaking had on. Ricky Gervais. I'm sure Ricky Gervais has a podcast. I should look into that. I don't know if he does. James Corden, they had on. Martin Short, Bryan Cranston, Billie Eilish. Excuse me. Felt that coming on. George Clooney, they freaking had on. Yeah, Bob Odenkirk. Just a ton of like big time guests on there. Maybe not the biggest one. I'll bet probably Rob Lowe has had bigger guests, or Dax Shepard. But anyways, Smartless, really good, really funny. Just need to have video. That's why I can't rank it that high. I'll put it at the top of B. Sorry. Dan Soder. I love Dan Soder with the voice of Dan Soder. Like I can't do the impression, but it's like the deepest voice in all of comedy. And he's hilarious. He's so funny. Just come up with stuff out of nowhere. And it's just one of my favorite ones is when he was on Andrew Santino's podcast, Whiskey Ginger, and they were talking about like screwing over their jobs and stealing stuff from all the jobs they lived at and all the shenanigans they got into growing up. It's so good. Dan Soder and the basketball card, like where they open packs of basketball cards, but not only do they open them, they look for the good ones and they comment on all these 80s basketball players and 90s, and it's like pretty good. I gotta put it pretty high above Sag Daddy, but he's also on Regs, so I'll leave Regs up there, but not above Blocks. I may make a top 12 on this one. We'll see. Because I think Blocks and Regs should be up there, but something's burning. Bert Kreischer trying to cook and ruining food almost every time, and he has some funny people on there. Probably the better of his podcast, to be honest. Probably above Office Ladies. I'll put it above Congratulations. Dudesy. I'll put it right there. Above Dudesy. Come on. All right. Soul Boom, Rainn Wilson, Dwight from The Office. It's good, but I don't know if I would call it comedy because he wants to get deep and existential, and he actually, like, I think he says himself it's not a comedy podcast, and he tries to keep it pretty serious. So it's close to Blocks, but Blocks is comedy, and this one is not. So because of that, and then it says a comedy podcast ranking, I'm gonna have to put it, but it still does make you laugh a little bit. I'll put it. You know what? I want to move this hiking one down. It's not done very well. It's not, and he tries to make it well, done well. I'll put it right there. But Soul Boom, yeah, it's going right there. Okay, what do we got? Stavi's World with Stavros Halkias. He's pretty funny. He embraces the Greekness, like unlike anybody else that's Greek more than Giannis. He just like has Greek music. He says hapa or whatever the words that the Greek words they're saying. He talks about all things Greek, but then he's so funny. He's on tires. He plays the guy that comes in to evaluate the tire shop, and he's really good. He's so funny that I got to put him up pretty high. Stavi is the best. Makes me laugh pretty hard. I'm gonna put him right below literally. I'll put him right there. He's good. Steph Infection with Steph Tolev. So Steph Tolev might be a lesser known comedian, but she is one of the most bombastic, kind of silliest, kind of like quirkiest, kind of like she's shouting, she's screaming, she's like running all over the place. Like all of a sudden she's talking like just like subtle, and then rah, 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 she raises her voice up high, and she's all over the place. And her stand-up comedy is like that too. One of the best is when she had Trash Tammy on her show. So good. I don't know how I remembered Steph Infection. I forgot Trailer Trash Tammy because I should add her mukbangs on there. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. I forgot. That's what I have to deal with. But she's so funny though. She's like laugh out loud hilarious. And like I think because I've never really sat down and ranked all of these comedy podcasts, I'm going to oh man. I gotta find a way to that. I know I keep bringing it up, but the Trailer Trash Tammy one, not the Trailer Tales. That one's not gonna go as high, but her just doing her mukbangs is so entertaining with her and her husband Greg, or Daryl. His real name's Greg, but Daryl is the character that he plays. But just two rednecks, like white trash as it comes. But those are the characters. But Steph Infection is just so funny. That's got to be, for me personally, near the Nate Land, Astig, yeah. Stavi, probably, yeah. Literally funnier than John Christ. I don't know. John Christ is a close one. I think it's above. It's above Pod, Sag Daddy, Soder. Oh, we'll leave it right there. Okay, she's right there. Okay. We got Stiff Socks. That's that's gonna like bug me that I always forget his name, and I love him as a comedian. Stiff Socks podcast host. I don't know why I always forget his name. Trevor Wallace. I freaking love Trevor Wallace. I love me. His stand-up so good. And then Michael Blaustein, which they just had Michael Blaustein on Whiskey Ginger this week. That was the guest. So he looks a lot like James Franco. If you look him up, Michael Blaustein looks like James Franco. But yeah, Trevor Wallace is so good, so funny, and he just looks like a young, kind of like hip, kind of cool guy that maybe I don't know. I feel like probably attractive to a lot of girls. I don't know. I kind of feel that way. He's kind of like the who's oh it's the one that Eric Griffin is on tour with. Who is Eric Griffin on tour with? He's the one that's like shot to fame. He's the really attractive stand-up comedian. Really attractive stand-up comedian that does crowd work. I'm not going to be able to find him probably. That's not enough to... Matt Rife. There it is. Matt Rife. Does Matt Rife have a podcast? That's another thing I got to look up. Matt Rife podcast? He's got to have a podcast. No, I don't think he has a podcast. The really good podcast, thanks to... I don't know. That's probably not it. No. I don't think he has a podcast, but Matt Rife, he's like shot to fame because I think a lot of people find him attractive, a lot of girls, and he's really good at crowd work. But anyways, let's go back to Stiff Socks. Trevor Wallace, he's really funny, he's really good. I don't know if I like him better. Brendan Sagalow. Yeah, he's probably above that, but not above Steph. Okay, we're getting there. Take your shoes off. Oh my gosh, this might be an S tier because Rick Glassman is the best at bits in the entire stand-up comedian game. He's so good. He's on the autistic scale, like me, like your boy Jordan, and like he like has it edited so good with all these cool graphics and like little creatures crawling around, and like the thing where he has explosive diarrhea all over and it's like edited. He does it like every other episode. He has little like bits and quirky things that he does because of his autism and OCD and stuff. It's just so good. He has one of the best intros. Shoop doo, blah bitty blue. shoutout. Oh yeah, just listen to it. It's so good. It's gonna be an S tier. It's gotta be. It has to. I might have to have 12. I don't know. It's better than Jim Jeffries. It's better than Club Random. It's better than Hey Babe. It's better than Doug Loves Movies. Better than Fly on the Wall. Better than Hot Ones. Whoa, man. This is going better than Harlan. I never thought I would say that. Harlan is funnier in a lot of ways. I like it better than Kill Tony, personally. Not better than Chrissy Chaos, though. So, sorry, Jim Jeffries. You gotta come down. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm officially doing it. We're having 12. So there you go. 12 in the S tier. I'm allowing it because I do things in 12s here, top 12s and everything. Taste Buds. Great intro. It's been a minute since I've watched it though. Taste Buds. Oh man, I wish I could remember it. I can't remember the words. I don't know. But go watch Taste Buds. The intro will get stuck in your head. I haven't watched it for a little bit, but it's Joe DeRosa. It's Sal Volcano. They're like have these debates about different food. They put two foods against Coke versus Pepsi, McDonald's versus Burger King. They do like foods like I don't know. Let's see. Let me look up some of the Taste Buds podcast episodes. They did fireworks versus the fireworks one, having your own show versus going somewhere to see a show. Dads versus grandpas. They don't always do food items. They do I don't know, just showing the most recent ones. It's not going to show the older ones, but biscuits and gravy versus garlic bread. That's a weird one. Pizza versus pasta. Just a lot of those different things. Chips Ahoy versus Oreos is their first episode. Cinnamon raisin bagel versus everything. Doritos versus combos. Apple pie versus peach pie. Just a lot of those things, and it's really entertaining. And Joe DeRosa gets annoying at times. Sal gets annoying at times, but I love them both at times. It's the love-hate thing where I love them at times. I find them both really annoying at times. And Joe DeRosa likes to yell, and Sal likes to get on his nerves and like do these little things that annoy the hell out of him, and it's pretty funny. This used to be a weekly watch for me. It kind of stopped being a weekly watch, but I still have a lot of nostalgia for it. So I'm going to put it pretty high above Soder. Oh, above Blocks. Yeah, I got to do it. So it's right there. And it's funny because I feel like I like Hey Babe better, but the gimmicky stuff, I don't know. There's just something about it. Like I don't even know where I even have Hey Babe. Or did I? No, I know I ranked it. Hey Babe? What the frick? Am I not seeing it? Hey Babe, Hey Babe, Hey Babe, Hey Babe. I know some of you can see it. It's here. Is it in my? Oh, it's in my S tier. That's why. Yeah, okay, good. Because I should have Hey Babe higher. So, okay. I feel better about that. Oh, sorry. Let's see. We have Tell Him Steve Dave with the comic book guys that are friends with what's his name? Kevin Smith. Yeah. Tell Him Steve Dave podcast hosts. Let's see. We got, let's see. Tell Him Steve Dave is Brian Johnson, Walt Flanagan, and Brian Quinn of Impractical Jokers. And it's been so long since I've watched. I've only seen and I've only probably seen about 10 episodes, to be honest. It's been just so long that I like these guys, and they're going to go up a little bit, but I can't put them above Conan. So they'll go right there. Because I love me some Kevin Smith, and I love Mallrats, where Tell Him Steve Dave comes from. So, okay, we got the the Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew show. They're back. They used to do Love Line together, and I would watch that or listen on the radio every night when I went to bed, and felt like I was listening to something kind of taboo a little bit because it was all sexual questions for the doctor, and then Adam coming up with jokes. And Adam has the voice for podcasting, the voice, one of the greatest voices in all um, of comedy, and he's really good on the spot. He does the thing at his comedy shows where he just pulls things out of a hat, or he takes suggestion and just does stand up kind of on the spot, kind of like Jeremiah Watkins stand up on the spot. But and I love Dr. Drew. I think he's really great, and he's funny, but he's smart. He's a doctor and gives great advice. So I gotta put them. They're just so infinitely entertaining that it's like this might be like a pretty high up there kind of all timer for me. Uh, I don't know. The more that I think about it, though, maybe not quite. I'll live it right above. Under literally, above Stabby's World. Okay. We got the Adam Friedland show. I don't know anything about it. It was just one of the ones highly recommended. I haven't seen it. More Adam Carolla. Adam Carolla show. That goes. Because now Adam Carolla's on the radio all the time. He has been for years and years and years, and it's so good. I just think though the chemistry he has with Dr. Drew can't be beat, and Adam Carolla is good, and I think that the Adam Ray, they're both Adams, and they kind of look similar. It's kind of weird. Handsome. I'll put him above handsome, sure. It's almost like a radio show that he does, because it is a radio show. He's on the radio, but the Always Sunny shows with I always forget that the Always Sunny guys' names. Let's see. It is Charlie Day, Rob McElhenney, and Glenn Howerton. They're hilarious and they're great together on their show. I can't believe how long It's Always Sunny's been on the air, but it's so good. It's classic. It's like one of those shows when I need like a go-to of something funny. I just want to binge. It's so bingeable, so good. It's like, it's so good. So their podcast is right up there, and they do video. I don't know if I think they might have started without video, but really good stuff. Oh man, this might be an S tier. But then I have to put this is important in S tier. And you know what? I think I can put it right below. I'll put it right there because they're really, really good. You know what? No, I gotta put it under blocks. That's where it's gonna land. The show though is an all-timer for sitcom. Bonfire. I can't remember who's on the Bonfire podcast. Sorry guys. Bonfire podcast hosts. Let's see. Oh, Big J Okerson and Robert Kelly. Hell yeah. Those are two amazing stand-up comedians that but you know what? I've seen You Know What Dude from Robert Kelly. I haven't seen Bonfire actually. As great as they are, and as much as I want to rank them high, just because they're great comedians, I got to be real. I've never seen it, so the Brotherly Love. I just added this one. I don't know if it's that great as far as it's the what's his name that was on Boy Meets World. Why can't I think? Lawrence, the Lawrence brothers. It's like Andrew Lawrence, Joey Lawrence, and who's the most famous one? And yeah, Matthew Lawrence, Andrew Lawrence, and Joey Lawrence. Yeah, and they just reviewed Deadpool and Wolverine. That was cool. That was a fun one, and they had a whole thing talking about. Well, they've had guys from Boy Meets World on there. They had a Matilda reunion because of Matthew Lawrence, also with the cast of Matilda coming back, the original girl from Matilda, all grown up. So it's fun, but is it that funny? Kind of. It's along the lines of like, I don't know, what would be. I don't even really know what to compare it to, but it's gonna be above some of these podcasts. I'll put it maybe right. And would probably just because I haven't seen much of Call Her Daddy. I've seen a couple episodes, but I'll go with. Nah, I can't do it. But but it's definitely going above the Hiking with Kevin for sure. All right, we got the Joey Diaz podcast, which I can't remember the name of it. The Church of What's Happening Now. That's what it is. It's cut off, but Joey Diaz is so good. He's so funny, but he's a certain kind of funny that like maybe not everyone would necessarily vibe with. He's good. I don't know. This is a tough one because sometimes he's good and sometimes he's boring. Um, I gotta at least put him above Flagrant 2. Above Honeydew. I'll leave it right there. Let's see. We got the Doug Stanhope podcast. Great comedian. Never seen his podcast. So, and the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. Never seen it. And I don't know if that's a comedy podcast. I think it's more about conspiracy theories and stuff. The Fighter and the Kid. Here we go. Brendan Shaw. Brandon. I like to call him Brandon because he tries to be a stand-up comedian. He's not funny. He's cringy. He tries to act cool. Great MMA fighter, sure. He did my boy Bobby Lee wrong, and I've never really liked him since. And he kind of did also Theo Von wrong too. And Theo Von had left his show back when he used to be the King and the Sting, and I just don't. I think he's cringy, but he's more entertaining than Bert. He's definitely that. So, and I don't know, barely better than Congratulations, I guess. And dude's he's kind of boring. I don't know. And I got to put him above Bert, above Hiking. No, not above Hiking. No. Worse than a 15-minute, like, poorly edited hiking show. Sure. The Golden Hour. There's their other podcast. It's better than The Fighter and the Kid. It's got Eric Griffin. It used to be the King and the Sting back when Theo Von made it something awesome. And it's better than the Brotherly Love, I guess. But I won't put it above Call Her Daddy. No, it goes right there. Great format. They have a cool studio, a really killer studio, but I just don't like. I used to love those guys, but not anymore. Joe Rogan might be an S tier. I don't know though. Is he that funny though? He's funny and he has interesting guests and he does 3-hour podcasts. Like this show's about to go. Geez, I didn't think it would go this long, guys. Sorry. Yeah, let's see. Joe Rogan. I've been watching a lot of Joe Rogan lately. I don't know. I just find him funny, and he takes both sides. He's like, talks about right wing and left wing stuff, and has really interesting people. But then he has funny comedians. I skip the MMA stuff because I don't care about any of that stuff when he has those Fight Companion one episodes. I gotta put him. I don't think I'm gonna put him. Yeah, he's got to go up there. No, you know what? No, screw that. And I better have one of the ones that I'm thinking of on here. Okay, good. Okay, I'm not going to say what it is, but there's one in particular that's going to be S tier, and I almost thought I forgot it. But Nikki Glazer, I don't think I've ever seen her podcast. I think she's hilarious. She's stunningly gorgeous, and was one of the best parts about the Tom Brady roast. I haven't seen her podcast. The Pauly Shore podcast. What a weird podcast. He's changed it so many times. I just went with the generic Pauly Shore because he keeps changing it up and doing weird, like hot girls dancing in his house with a band playing, and then weird cameras mounted around. But then he changed it to be like, or he has like influencers on, and he always has like some hot chick on there as a guest, and then bands, really cool bands though. So his podcast is good, and he's all over the place. But But I've met Pauly Shore, and he's freaking awesome. And we talked about Bobby Lee and about the Comedy Store, so that was fun. So I'm going to. I really like him, but I want to be too hasty. He's entertaining though, just because he's so quirky. I don't know. I'll put him right here, right below literally. Let's do that. The smartest man in the world, Greg Proops. I've never seen his podcast, but I love Greg Proops from Whose Line Is It Anyway? He's good. The Tim Dillon Show. Now we're talking. Tim Dillon is so funny. I didn't know he was gay until like recently. I had no idea, and I guess he's like the highest earner on Patreon, which is crazy. And he's so funny with the way he talks about stuff. Oh, he's got to go up high. I love me some Tim Dillon. Yeah, sorry you're bumping out Regs. I love Tim Dillon to death. He's so good. Yeah, higher than Hot Ones, higher than Howie Mandel. Harlan, that's a tough one. I'll put him above Harlan and Kill Tony. Take your shoes off. No. For right now, I gotta leave it like that. So those are the 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. Okay, sorry, Jim Jeffries. Sorry. Okay, what do we got? We had This Is Important. The dudes from Workaholics Plus. They got this other guy. This Important podcast hosts plus one other guy, Kyle Newacek, which he wasn't on Workaholics, but he's a friend of theirs. And they're so good. I love Blake Anderson, maybe the most out of those guys. But of course, I'm Adam Devine. I mean, it's so good. And I think they do video now. I want to say they haven't always done video, so it makes it tough to have them super high. But I think that they're so funny. I think it's just gonna miss though my S tier because Club Random, Bill Maher's getting like some incredible guests, like maybe the best guest out of anyone. Now that I think about it, I was looking up who has the best guest. I forgot about Bill Maher. He's probably has the best. Okay, let's see. We got this past weekend. That's going in S. My boy Theo Vaughn, so good. I love his solo episodes almost more than episodes with people, but you have him with what's his name? The guy that always talks about diarrhea, and he's Adam Sandler's crew. Nick Swardson, yeah, Nick Swardson is hands down one of the best stand-up comedians like of all time. He's so good, and when those two get together, or him and Bobby Lee, or just him and they'll just have like a regular guy, like a plumber, or he'll have an animal control guy, or a mall cop, or a mortician. like those are always good. I don't care as much when he has fighters on, but that's just me. I very I like to say I like fighting because I'm a guy and I can fight, beat the hell out of people. But do I care much about fighting and wrestling? Not that much. Like, if I'm being honest, but it's kind of interesting. I don't know. But anyways, he's going up here. So Club Random's got to go down. Now, where to place him? Definitely above Hot Ones. And you know what? I got to take David Spade off and put David Spade in Indiana Carvey. Sorry. Because you don't do video. This past weekend, one of my like top ones. So yeah, it's going right below Bad Friends. So there we go. Okay. Tiger Belly, Bobby Lee, another weekly watch every week. I freaking will follow Bobby Lee to the moon and back. I wish he would do a special. I wish he would be in more movies. I wish he would just, I wish I could see him more and do stand up, but I got to see him live someday. I got to. So not as good as Bad Friends, but it's up there. And Yeah, like he's the goat, the podcast comedy goat for me is Bobby Lee. He just is. So, okay, let's see what else we got. Tosh show. I've only seen the Tosh show one time, and it looked funny. I love Daniel Tosh, Tosh.0, but gotta put it in. Haven't seen Trash Tuesdays. I've seen enough. I've seen about 6 episodes or something. I don't know if I love it, but I'll put him probably or them right above Inside of You. Yeah, I'll do that. And we're gonna move some stuff down. I'm just noticing. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 4 of these are moving down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 times 5 is 20. So I had that wrong. 1, 2, 20. So I'm gonna move 4 more down. Oh wait, no, I'm counting that wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, no. 4 times 5. Yeah, that's 20. Okay. Yeah. I wasn't going crazy. Thought I was going crazy for a second. Oh wait, what am I doing? Finding the kid. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, there we go. But I still got to move 2 down from here. Conan to be. Oh, that's kind of a travesty, if you ask me. 2 down. Okay, I think that's how. Okay, something ain't right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 20. Okay, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, I got to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 down. Oh, are you kidding me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that means 12 down from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20. 3 go down. So 1, 2, 3. All right. I've got some D tier ones. Oh, wow. Okay. Tuesdays with Stories all the way to the top. Oh, man. Mark Norman and Joe List. Do I have? Okay. So we might be drunk on here because that's going up there also. But so good. So like the two, like the hardest I've ever laughed watching a podcast ever to this day. Tuesdays with Stories, Joe List, We Might Be Gay, My Father's Gay, like it's all pipes, Jerry. It's pipes, and they relate stuff to everything Seinfeld, and like you just gotta watch it to see it. They have these like bits and things they say that are just pure comedy gold. I love Mark Norman, another one of my favorite comedians. You know what? I gotta put it above Tiger Belly. I love it so much. Sorry, Club Random. Yeah, and that means, well, hang on. Unqualified with Anna Faris. Haven't seen it. That's another one. Just popped up on the list. We Might Be Drunk. S tier because it's him and Sam Morril. Sam Morril's hilarious. One of the smartest comedians. Like I'll say that he's smart, and he's a diehard New York Knicks fan and a basketball fan, and that like vibes with me. If you know me, I'm a huge basketball fan. We Might Be Drunks. Gotta be right after this past weekend. I don't know though. Chrissy Chaos. I think yeah, I gotta put Chrissy Chaos above Ear Biscuits. And that means Hey Babe is down. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. We're here to help with what's his face from Let's Be Cops? Jake Johnson, or I can't remember the other guy's name. Here to help podcast hosts. Okay, we're here to help Jake Johnson and Gareth Reynolds. Yeah, and all they do is they take calls. They just jump right in. They take a call. They had Chris Stefano on there, and all of a sudden they were just taking phone calls. Just start, and it's crazy off the wall. I wonder if some of the phone calls though are scripted though. I don't know, or because people come out with some of the craziest calls that you're just wondering how is that even possible. They're scripted, or they have people they know calling in, making this stuff up. I don't know. I I just don't know. That could be real. So really good, really funny. It's just not a traditional podcast format. So it's a little different, but it's something unique and out of the box. So, and they're really funny guys. So I don't know if I'd put it above literally, but I would put it above Pauly Shore. Okay, we'll put it right there. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost done. We're down to one row. When a stranger calls, it's another one where they're taking phone calls, but it's better. It's done better by Howie Mandel and Harlan Williams. And this is a new podcast. We've only had about 5 or 6 episodes, and they like Howie Mandel loves to make people feel as awkward as humanly possible. So they do these things. Made this guy show his teeth the whole time for like 20 minutes straight and smile over and over. And they just ask the most awkward questions to really make people feel awkward and uncomfortable. And Howie loves doing that. So it's got to be above We're Here to Help for sure. And it's really good. It's so funny, but I'll put it above Always Sunny, not above Blocks, because I love Blocks. Okay, Whiskey Ginger. I was just listening to this beforehand when they had this other guy from Stiff Socks podcast that looks like what's his name? No, I can't even think. James Franco. I knew it would come to me. James Franco. Okay, yeah, he looks like James Franco. Whiskey Ginger. I love Andrew Santino so much that like I almost want to put it in the S tier, but I can't quite. But I think I can put it above. I can put it above Blocks though. I can put it above Taste Buds. Joe Rogan. No, it's gonna land right there. Sorry, Whiskey. And the more I think about the Dana Carvey one and David Spade, yeah, the more I think about that, I gotta move that one down. It's good, but it's not that good. I had it way too high. Yeah, I'll put it for now. But Brendan Sagalow is so funny. Oh, I'll put it above him though. But okay. Why won't you date me? And that's freaking I can't think of her name. So why date me? Podcast host Nicole Byer. So I haven't seen it, but it sounds like a cool premise where she just she has been single for decades. She tries to answer questions about why she's perpetually single and like figure out why she's so single and why people won't date her. So sounds like a cool premise. Haven't seen it. WTF with Mark Maron is one of the OG podcasts. It's probably been going for I feel like 20 years, a long time. But Mark Maron's great just because of the longevity and like he is funny. He's great on that Wrestling Girls Glow. He's great on that. And he's one of the OGs to do it. But I don't always find him just laugh out loud, gut-wrenchingly hilarious. But it's kind of like a Joe Rogan thing where like people want to be on Joe Rogan and they want to be on Mark Maron's podcast because he's one of the OGs. But I gotta put him like right there below Whiskey Ginger and above Taste Buds. So all right, 4 left. We got You Be Trippin'. I've been really into that because I love to travel. A really catchy theme song. And Ari Shafir is the man. He's had 3 or 4 podcasts, but I just included the newest one. And he just had Rob Lowe on there talking about his trip to Egypt and Jordan and Sudan and all that. And then he had Joe List on there talking about his trip to Machu Picchu, Peru. He had I can't remember. He had someone that was talking about the trip to Mark Norman. And he went to Gay Paris, but it was Paris because of the Olympics that they had a France one. But he's so funny, and I love traveling. So good. I love Ari Shafir, one of my favorite comedians working today. Oh man, I think I can put it above Club Random, above Hey Babe. It's so close, but since it's new, I'll let it sit there for now. You know what, dude, with Robert Kelly. Robert Kelly's cool. He lost all this weight. He got his stomach. I always call it stomach stapled, but that's not really what it is. It's like there's a medical term for it, but where he had a gastric bypass surgery, or I don't know. He's skinny now though, and he looks good. He's not a fat slob, and he's doing all right, and he's hilarious. But I've only seen like 5 episodes or so. Probably in between Honeydew and the Church of What's Happening Now. Okay. You made it weird. Pete Holmes. I love Pete Holmes. I wish the Pete Holmes late night talk show would have stayed forever because he was awesome. And he did those Batman sketches and X-Men sketches, and they're so good. Pete Holmes is good. He talks a lot though. It's a famous thing when he's a guest on Doug Loves Movies. It's a Pete Holmes rule. The first person to talk goes first in the games, or and yeah, I love me some Pete Holmes though. I think he seems like a nice guy, and like the laughs about everything. He's really enthusiastic and like has a passion for what he's doing, and the podcast and the late night show and all that stuff. So it's sad he got canceled. I don't know where to put him though. I can't put him that high. No, not above Blocks. I can put him probably above It's Always Sunny. Pete Holmes rules. He's awesome. And last but not least, Your Mom's House. Not a show that I love. It's gross out humor for gross out sick. His wife, though, is really funny, though. I wish I could remember Christina something. Let's just put who is Tom Segura's wife. Christina Pazitsky, and she whenever they do the paid version of Your Mom's House, I always tune into that because that's really good. They go out of their way to make it really special, and like they do it like once a year, and it's like a 2 hour long episode where they do all kinds of crazy kooky stuff, and it might be longer than that. I don't know, but you can watch the gross out stuff, like actually see it because they don't usually show it to you, and they get some of the grossest, craziest, like cancelable stuff they can find, but they put it on under a paywall, so it's legal to show. And then they had one where literally his wife got like all these tattoos and got like breast implants, but I don't think they were real, as some way to make her look like she had, and she was looking hot. I'm like, I've been really into girls with tattoos lately. I don't know what it is. I've never been into that before, but recently I am. And Christina has a great stand-up special. She might be funnier than Tom in a lot of ways. So I don't know. It's debatable, but I still don't love Your Mom's House though, because it's just the same old stuff over and over. And I don't like when they're gonna have a guest on. They wait like half the episode to have the guest on and do all this gross out stuff and news stories and all this stuff, and it's just not. It's weird. I don't know. It's a weird format. I probably like. You know what? I'm gonna put it right here, just below the hiking thing, because the only thing that gets me are those paid episodes, and they do it once or twice a year, and that's it. So that's where I'm gonna put it. I know it's low so that's pretty much it. So those are the final rankings. A lot I haven't seen that I need to see. Apologies to Jeremiah Watkins and to Trailer Trash Tammy, Chelsea Lynn, and not having their stuff on there. That was a mistake. So I screwed up there. But I knew I would forget something. It always happens. But I think I'm pretty happy with my top 12, and I'm almost tempted to switch out hot ones. It's just people eating wings, but I don't know. That Conan one was pretty epic. Is it? I just can't think of any of those other ones I would put up there. So I'm gonna keep it. These are the top 12. And yeah, so my number one podcast with a bullet. I'm gonna break it down for you guys, and we'll do some honorable mentions. Sure, why not? We'll do 5. Um, we got Bad Friends. We got Tuesdays with Stories. Tiger Belly. Theo Vaughn with This Past Weekend. And actually, let me break down the people. Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, Bad Friends. Joe List and Mark Norman, Tuesdays with Stories. Bobby Lee and Kalila Kuhn, Tiger Belly. Theo Vaughn, This Past Weekend. Mark Norman and Sam Morril, We Might Be Drunk. Krista Stefano and now I'm like spacing on Mike. Mike Cannon. Okay, I got there, people. With Chrissy Chaos, Rhett McLaughlin, Link Neal, Ear Biscuits, Rick Glassman, Take Your Shoes Off. The Tim Dillon Show, obviously Tim Dillon. Kill Tony with Tony Hinchcliffe. The Harlan Highway with Harlan Williams. Howie Mandel Does Stuff, obviously. Sean Evans with Hot Ones. And Doug Benson with Doug Loves Movies. There you go. That's the top 12. But let's do some honorable mentions. We'll do Krista Stefano and Sal Volcano for Hey Babe. We'll do Ari Shafir for You Be Trippin'. We'll do Bill Maher on Club Random. We'll do the This Is Important, the Workaholics guys. We'll just leave it at that, plus their other friend. We'll do I Don't Know About That with Jim Jeffries. Those are the top 12 and 5 honorable mentions. So this has been way longer than I thought. I didn't mean to go like pretty much 3 hours, but hey, it is what it is. Maybe I'll find some other ones to make them short, but that's it. But yeah, thanks for people that tuned in. Brian Nussbaum for a bit, Malcolm Lay. This has been a lot of fun. I'm just gonna jump out of here quick before I hit 3 hours. So yeah, and there's no telling how long these will be. I meant for it to be short. Didn't happen. Such is my life. Always everything takes longer than it should. And yeah, sorry, I was just thinking of something I got to do after this. Anyways, let's close this out. We're going to close it here. Let's see, what do I have going on for plugs? I'll make it quick. Just follow us on Facebook at the Movie Hero Network. You can post over there if you have a YouTube channel or projects you're working on. This week we are doing. We got a TV. Wait, no, we just did our TV episode. So that was Best TV Show 2015 to 2017. Check that out. We got Michael Wolfman Wyndham, friend of the show, his top 128 movies on Monday and Wednesday. And no episode next Friday because I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. with Michael Wolfman, and maybe one other friend. I'm hoping to meet up with Chad and Carrie Webb, who've been on our show before, and because they live in D.C. And then when we get back, I'll just give you we have some. We have some trivia coming up. The Seen and Heard movie trivia. So just keep posted to the show. Hit the like, subscribe, the little bell to keep track of a lot of trivia we have coming up. I'm not going to get into all of it, but when I come back from DC next week, it's going to be it's going to be Michael Wolfman Wyndham's top 128 championship that we had to push back, and then Chad Webb's top 64. Speaking of those two, and then we have some Patreon exclusive episodes I'm trying to put in the books. So if you would like to be on any of these music episodes, let me know because we will put them on our patreon.com/moviehero over there, and we can play all the music, and it'll be fun. We have music trivia over there, a lot of exclusive stuff. But these are the episodes, and if you want to be on one, we are doing the battle of our favorite movie scores for tournament fights battles. We're doing best TV theme songs of all time for a tournament fight. We are doing a tournament fight versus Elton John songs versus Queen. We're doing the Battle of the Kings of Pop, which we decided is going to be Michael Jackson songs versus Justin Timberlake and NSYNC, Bruno Mars, Backstreet Boys, and Maroon 5. So that's what's going to be there. And then we have the Beatles versus the Rolling Stones versus Elvis. Those three going head to head. So yeah, that's it. So anyways, this has been way longer than I thought it was going to be, but a lot of fun, and we'll be back with more of these. And if anyone would like to do a Tier Ranker remix of this huge giant list that I have here, you can do it, and you're allowed to move these up one or down one. And we had no Fs tonight, so you can move. But if you would like to do it, if you don't agree with what I have here, that's fine. You can come on and do a remix episode, because I will save these exactly the way these are, and you can come back and remix them. So, but until next time, let me get my outro. And I've been Jordan, the movie hero Anderson. We didn't hit 3 hours. We're just under, and we will see you next time.